Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Heavily Altered Podcast, episode 9. I'm Naimur.
And I'm Daniel. Oh, we didn't do that in the other one.
Oh no!
They know. They know who we are. No,
They know.
They
We-
probably
they
don't.
know us. They know
Nobody
us.
listens to this. What are
The
we talking
whole
about?
only people that we know that are watching this, or the whole. You know what I mean.
You've got it. You got it going, Luke. Keep saying it. You're almost there.
Stroke Luke. Stroke Luke.
Also,
Stroke
I just
Luke.
want to say real quickly, be careful of banging your mics. I just keep hearing ringing noises every time you guys hit your mic.
Oh, you know what? You know what that is? You know what that is, name Daniel? Because downstairs, my brother
you.
is actually running a blacksmithing shop, so it's just the sounds
so
from
he's just
that.
hitting an anvil every hour. Okay.
Did not
Well, not
land.
every- it's-
I'm gonna be honest.
Honestly,
Not
it landed
land.
better than it landed. At least I have the confidence to try to make a joke, unlike you.
No. No. No.
Ah.
No.
I'm just. Oh yeah, I was gonna say I'm considering growing out my hair all the way down to my shoulders, like Keanu Reeves in Cyberpunk 2077. Thoughts?
I don't know
So
why.
you were mumbling and
I don't know why
also
that's so
sounding like
funny.
Tucker Carlson at the same time. It's like Tucker Carlson had a mumbling issue.
I think. Have you guys seen Cody Ko? His
Yeah.
hair.
Mhm.
Yeah.
recently?
It
He
looks
just
good
kinda
at the
down.
beginning.
I don't know how
It looked good
it looks
for a
good
while.
at the beginning, and I don't know how it feels now.
Hold on.
It's like in that in between phase where I'm like,
What
He's
does it
growing it
even look
out.
like
I don't
now?
know why. It's
Yeah,
just like super long hair. It's like
Oh
kind
yeah.
of shorter than
No,
Keanu Reeves.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Luke's having technical difficulties.
Also,
He
if you
forgot
guys
to
are on a
hit start.
Keanu Reeves thing, have you guys seen Always Be My Maybe? That Netflix
No.
original movie?
I'm not.
No,
I'm
Came
not.
out,
On,
like, during the
I
last
have
for the
not.
record, I just wanted to say this for the record. Just on the record, I wanted to say that I'm not on a Keanu Reeves thing. I mean, he just has long hair, and
Thank
I
you.
thought it'd be
Thank
funny.
you. Thank you.
And I
Thank
just
you.
wanted
Didn't
to
lie.
be-
He
Didn't
thought
lie.
it would be funny to make a joke.
I thought it'd be funny.
He's
to-
not actually.
I thought it.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
actually. I don't
He doesn't-
actually want to
he's
grow my
not-
hair that long. I'm just saying. I think it'd be funny if people thought about me with hair that long. Is all.
Luke actually has no hair
They've never seen
whatsoever.
us.
It's a rare skin condition.
They've never seen us. Yeah.
But like I was
He's
saying.
got-
Like I was saying. If
It's a touchy
well,
subject
people
for
we
Luke.
only know are going to be listening to this, so they know what we look like. So they can picture me with shoulder length hair.
All I'm
without the-
saying is, if any of us ever run for president, I'm immediately unlisting every podcast video.
That's fine.
On
I have no
YouTube.
issue with that.
It's probably
I'm just
for the
saying,
better.
If I ever run for president and I win, y'all know what I'm going to do. First day in the White House is
No political hot take, please.
Ban women.
No.
Ban
no.
women.
Y'all know. It's something to do with something
women.
to do with all the presidential portraits. That's all.
Oh, we can't talk about that, Luke. We cannot talk about that. No one's gonna understand that.
I'm sorry.
No one's gonna
No
understand
one's gonna
that.
get that joke because we're not allowed to talk about
It's
that.
an inside joke among us. All right. So
So how about that
it
Mavericks
is-
game? So how about that
Thank you,
Mavericks
Luke.
game?
Was there a Mavericks game?
Yesterday,
Mavericks
right?
game?
It was yesterday or
No,
the
it
day
was
before.
today.
It was
It
Christmas
was
Eve.
today.
It was Christmas Day.
It was. Oh my God. Okay.
Are
One
we
at a
sure?
time. Meeting me. Oh, they played on Christmas, and then the way the NBA works is they
Yeah.
usually play every other day or every 2 days,
Oh, really?
something like that.
Oh, I thought it was
Yes.
like the
So they
NFL
played on
play every week.
Christmas. No. They play on Christmas. They played against the Lakers, and guess what? This is like the first time I've seen the Mavericks play a primetime Christmas game. 'Cause Christmas is like one of the big games of the year because it happens every year. It's like Thanksgiving for the NFL. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Because the Cowboys
Yeah.
always play on Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
So this is like kind of cool. It's like the Mavericks are playing primetime game on
Christmas
Christmas with the Lakers, which is like the Lakers won the championship last year. So I was like, wow, we're making it, man. Ever since they drafted Luka Doncic, the foreigner. I don't know why I said that. The dude
Yeah,
from
that was
Latvia.
definitely the wrong
Luke
accent.
is rubbing off on you.
I don't know. Ever since they drafted Luka Doncic, who's been like a prodigy, for reference, okay, this dude. So the second best league in the world. So the NBA is predominantly the number one basketball league in the world. Okay, like the best players are in the NBA, in all of basketball. That's why
Yes.
usually in the Olympics, Team America almost always wins the gold medal for Olympic basketball because they demolish all the other competitions. Okay, so there's another league. The second best league is called the Euro League. Okay, so it's the second best league.
Can you
It's
guess where
it's
that's
still not
from?
as good. It's Europe. Thank you, Luke. Yeah.
Thanks, Luke.
So, what makes it so interesting is Luka Doncic. He's been playing in the EuroLeague since he was like, I think he was like 16, 15 or 16, right? And then when he was, I think 17 or 18, he won the MVP, Most Valuable Player award in that league.
Mm.
So
I'm sorry, Naimur. I have to interrupt. Luke, are you playing with the fruit by the foot?
No, it's the ribbon that y'all gave me with my blanket. That your family gave me.
Oh wow.
Okay, so continue, Naimur.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. I know you guys are not very interested in this. I'm gonna stop rambling. In a
Luke
sec,
is being
but
very rude. Luke is
Yeah,
being
I'm
extremely
not.
rude.
I listened to
Grabbing
your
myself
open
like
world
a
discussion topic, Luke. When it comes to sports, I expect full ears.
Yeah, but you enjoyed it, dude. You enjoyed it.
Yeah. So basically, oh my god, Luke, at least mute your mic if you're gonna do it, because I can hear it so much. All right. Anyway, so basically, oh my god, I swear, I'm gonna choke him. I'm gonna choke him with this.
Naimur,
ribbon.
I think you're gonna realize one day you can't talk about sports on here without us like not having anything
No,
to say.
I'm
just
trying to
'cause
get
we
this
have
in
no-
layman terms for you, Daniel. Anyway, I'm gonna talk to you, Daniel,
Okay.
because the other one's a non-factor.
Okay.
Basically, brain dead right now. Anyway,
And by non-factor,
Hey,
already
Naimur, you
losing
can't
his
joke
mind
about
despite
that.
it's not
Naimur,
even.
you know I'm brain.
yeah, that's an offense to your brain. That is so sad that had to be
Naimur,
stuck
you know
with
that's a
you.
slur. Naimur, you know that's a slur.
No. Anyway,
Because I'm sorry if I made a really nasty noise there. I just took a drink of my water and laughed at the same
Okay.
time. And it
can I
made
finish this so
little-
that we can talk about sports as little
Yeah,
as
can you
possible?
finish it and then we can move on.
Okay. So
We're dragging this
Basically-
on. Oh my god.
at the age of 16 or 17, he was the best player in the second best league in the NBA. Isn't that
Mhm.
crazy? Or than the NBA or
In the NBA.
in basketball. He's the
Mhm.
second best league in the world. He was the best player, and the Mavericks drafted him, and so now he's like the star player. He's been instantly like taking hold. Like he's really good right now, and he's only
Mhm.
20. He's a year
Mhm.
older than us. That's
Yeah.
crazy to me.
That's
He's
insane.
like a year or two older than us. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
So they got a primetime game. They lost, obviously, because it's the Lakers. I had a feeling they were going to lose.
Mhm.
But, I mean, they were playing terribly. And then today, it was a great day because the Cowboys and the Mavericks won. This is Sunday, December 27th.
Yeah.
We're going to date this. I don't care.
2019.
Whatever, Daniel. Hate you, Daniel.
Hmm.
Anyway, so the Cowboys won, which
Great.
is interesting because they still have a chance to go to the playoffs, even though they have a losing record,
Mm-hmm.
which is really interesting to me. And the Mavericks, they broke a record today. At halftime against the Clippers today, they beat the Clippers by 50 points, or they were leading the Clippers by 50 points. That is a record in the NBA history for largest halftime lead. I think that's so interesting.
Mm.
That's crazy to me. And then they beat them by 51 points. They won the game by 51 points.
Yeah,
so
that's
it was a good day.
Right,
That's,
so they
that's
kept
more
the
than
lead
half of
pretty much.
100.
That is. Thank you, Luke. That was very interesting.
Yeah, no problem.
Anyway, screw me, man.
You know, it
Whatever.
took Luke.
Sports
It
talk
took Luke
over.
the last 30 seconds to think of that. By the way, he was like, "Okay, what is 2 times 51?"
I don't know. It's a good day for
that's-
Dallas sports. It was
well,
a good day for Dallas sports.
Eh.
The
What
Cowboys
about the
and Mavericks
Stars?
won.
What about the Stars?
We don't talk about them.
Yeah, Naimur, what
I'm
about
just
the
And,
Stars?
and FC Dallas? What about them?
I don't know. I don't follow those sports.
Yeah, of course.
I don't even think hockey's in season right now. Is it?
Hockey's.
But it's
Hockey's.
the cold time.
You know,
It's
hockey's
cold
only in
time.
season when they have the ice, right? When they can transport the ice.
Shut up.
So it's
When they have ice in Texas, dude. What are you talking
No, no,
about?
no,
when they can
Groundhog's Day.
transport the ice. When they can transport
No.
the ice.
No, it only begins when the groundhog looks at himself and is like, yes, hockey will begin. That's when hockey begins.
And there's
That's what Groundhog's Day is. I've never known
That is
until
what
now.
Groundhog-
Yeah, you never seen the
he
movie?
comes out and he's like, "It's hockey
You've
season."
never seen the
And-
movie?
And then,
Never
he-
seen the movie about.
yeah, that's all it is. And then the groundhog, if he
It's
sees
a
his
hockey
shadow,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
a
a
hockey.
hockey movie.
the
I didn't realize Bill Murray is good at hockey.
Wait, Bill Murray's
I'm sure he is. Yes. Anyway, we're
I thought it was
digressing.
Ted Kaczynski.
So that was our sports talk. Yeah,
Most people won't know that, Luke. Most people won't. Did Naimur get that?
I don't know what he said.
He said instead of Bill Murray, he was like, "I thought it was Ted Kaczynski."
The Unabomber.
Ted
Yes.
Kaczynski is the
The
Unabomber. Yeah, for people who don't know, that's so funny, dude.
He also went by
I love
another
that joke.
alias. He also went by another alias, Luke
Teddy.
Brady.
Luke Brady is the Unabomber.
I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying, have you ever seen them in the room together?
in the same room.
Yeah.
In the
All I'm
same
saying
room
is
together.
that when I went to visit the FBI storage warehouse, where
No,
they're
no,
keeping
no, no,
his,
no, 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 no. Let's not
when they're
do
keeping
anything
Ted
to make anybody
Kaczynski's,
put
when
us
they're
on a
keeping
list.
Ted Kaczynski's
No,
um,
no, 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 no.
cottage
Luke is
or whatever,
joking.
cabin.
Luke is joking.
I just
Luke
I
is
just felt a
joking.
very
All right,
Until the
Daniel. So I
very
need you to mute
familial
Luke
connection.
at this one moment. Okay.
Okay, this whole section will just be silent for Luke, but we'll be talking over him anyways, so it'll just sound like silence with us saying, Luke, just stop, just no, Luke, stop, just stop, just no, Luke, stop.
All I'm saying, Naimur, is that you did call me the Unabomber first. So
I did not say. Again, I didn't say that. I said. I'm not saying
I
you're
said
the
that.
Unabomber. I'm saying
You
have you ever
implied
seen
it.
them in the same room?
No, I
So
said
it's like
it.
it's like the whole
I'm
theory.
the one that
It's like
said
the whole
it.
theory
I said
that
it.
it's like the whole theory that Ronald Reagan and Dumbledore are the same people.
Have you ever seen them in the same room?
Exactly.
Exactly.
So we're all on the same page here.
Well,
Yeah, Ronald Reagan is
you
Dumbledore.
might not be.
End
Daniel
of-
might not
end
be.
of discussion.
No, I'm on the same page. Richard Nixon.
No.
Well,
God, this is a digression of a podcast. It's like putting your head in a
I think
blender.
we really should have
just
just
putting
called the
headphones on.
podcast the Circle Jerk Podcast. Is what we really should have
hey,
done.
you can't
Because
use
that's
that
all
word.
we do. We just we haven't edited it out in the past like 5 podcasts, so it's not
All I'm
getting
saying-
edited out.
If you're gonna be in a circle jerk, might as well
No,
make it
I'm
a
so scared to
No.
hear what he says. So
Luke.
scared to hear what he has to say. No,
Did you hear what he said?
no,
Did you hear what
because
he
he's
said? That was-
whispering. It's even worse when he whispers, because then we can't pick it up on the edits.
It is worse.
Did you
dude.
hear what I said?
Yes, it was like something about.
It said if you're gonna make it a circle jerk, you might as well make it a.
No, Luke,
That's so.
that word
That's so Luke. That is so on the edge of like
we
something
shouldn't
that
say circle
sounds
jerk
wrong.
because we clearly Did nobody know that it's bad to say circle? God, idiots.
That's just
Yeah.
unfunny.
Circles.
Didn't
That's
land.
just
Didn't
not
land.
funny.
Didn't land. I'll be the
It's
first
just
to
isn't
admit.
funny.
Yeah. Didn't
I'll
land.
be
Didn't
the
land.
first to admit. Didn't land, guys. I'll be the first to admit. See, I wish Luke would do that more often. Then
I
maybe
know.
like his jokes.
See,
No,
the
I'm just
fact
kidding.
that I don't recognize when my jokes land is that makes it
because it's
funnier.
embarrassing. Yeah.
Because then
It's
the
like
joke
a-
isn't funny.
it's
The
like a-
fact that I'm stupid and don't realize that the joke is funny. And
It's like a
don't realize the
political
joke isn't
figure.
funny.
It's like a political figure still thinking they won an election that they lost by 7 million votes for. Whoa.
Who is
Anyway.
Wait, which one is that? Richard Nixon?
No, that was actually.
Hey, you
that
know
was
what I
actually-
find funny? You know what I find funny? 7 out of the last 8 presidents. Wait, no. 7 out of the least.
Oh,
No.
this is an actual hot take,
We'll
bro.
continue.
Oh my God.
We can continue.
No,
the
we're not
podcast.
doing this.
We can
We're gonna
continue.
I know
move
what
on.
Lucas
We're
is
gonna
gonna
move
say.
on.
7 of the 8 last Republican presidents didn't win the popular vote.
That's not true. Not even remotely true.
I know.
I thought it was
got
like
the fact
4
wrong.
out of the
I got
last
the fact
5.
wrong.
Oh,
It is
you
4
said
of the past
7
5.
out of the last 8 Republican presidents, which is not true. If you just say 7,
No, it
Uh,
is.
or just
It is 4 out of 5. 4 out of the last 5 Republican presidents didn't win the popular
something.
no, that's not true. That's literally not
it's a
true,
hot
bro.
take and we're
Oh
not
my
vote.
God.
Whatever.
No, if you're gonna defame or defamation towards Republicans, like at least use the correct statistic. The
What's the
statistic
statistic then,
is yes, the statistic is the Republican Party has not won the popular vote since 2004. They've only won it once in the last 20 years. Since 88. It's the last time they won the popular vote. They've only won it once since 88.
And how many presidents have there been since then?
Like
Republican
3.
presidents?
There's been Bush. There's been Trump. That's it.
Bush, Trump.
I
Because
Bush
Bush won
Senior?
once.
think you're
He won-
Senior?
forgetting about.
No,
Bush
Bush Jr.
Or did he
H-
lose in 88?
He won in 88. He lost in 92
Oh, yeah.
to Bill Clinton.
No one cares.
I know, but I was just
Agreed.
trying to make Luke.
Okay, listen.
I'm trying to.
Here's what I'm saying. And I
Luke's
want to
gonna have a
take
hot
credit
take.
for
We
this.
have to make it
And I'm going to
factually
take credit for
correct.
this.
I understand.
I want to take credit for this. So, what's everyone's favorite piece of media this year?
No, we're not even gonna talk about that yet. That's
No,
No.
Luke, you did it wrong, dude. You did it wrong too. That's not even the right thing to transition to. Pick any other topic to transition to. We said we were gonna do that at the end of the podcast, and you immediately like, oh guys, I've screwed up. I gotta fix this. Let me fix it by going to the one topic we said we were gonna talk about last.
Speaking
What a
of
genius,
Ronald
dude.
Reagan, Playboy Cardi released an album this week on Christmas.
See, the thing is,
What is that?
I heard that the album. I haven't listened to it because that's just not my kind of
Oh,
music.
it's terrible,
I've
dude.
heard-
It's so bad.
No, yeah, I was gonna say I've heard it was really bad, but a lot of like diehard Playboy Cardi fans are like, "Oh, it's genius! It's Playboy Cardi's."
Oh, they're
Yeezy."
like, what's the word?
Yeezus.
What's the word where you're like trying to justify, like to yourself, like prove to yourself, like yes, this is good, even though
Check
it's
out
not
them.
really.
Chekhov's gun.
No.
No, it's not Chekhov's. It's like self something.
Pavlov's
denial.
dog.
It's like
Pavlov's dog.
it is
No.
denial, but
It's
like
just
it's
denial, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys the rundown of everything that happened on Christmas for me, because I don't get presents, unlike you white people.
No, it's
Okay?
because you're brown.
So- This was my thing. This is my fun thing, this time. Anyway, so basically what happened was, I think on the 23rd, Playboi Carti was like, "Hey, I'm finally releasing Whole Lotta Red, this album that I've been teasing at for 2 years." And what the thing is about this album is it's
How
been
much, Red?
leaked like 5 times.
Mhm.
It's been leaked 5 times. So like these songs that were supposed to be on it were leaked because what actually happens is like a lot of the fans they basically like in pool a fan base like pool like gives money to a hacker to basically hack and get the songs out and then release them to the public that are like
Mhm.
unreleased.
yeah.
And so I'm like, wow, it's kind of sucky because then he has to keep making songs, kind of,
Yeah.
right? But like these leaks were so good, like they were generally really good songs. I was like excited for because I like Playboi Carti. It was a pretty good,
Yeah.
like if I wanted to have anyone moan in my ear under a rap beat, it's him.
Not me.
Anyway, no, not even remotely you.
No, Luke, I'm sorry, Luke, not you.
I'd rather lose
What am I gonna
the
do
ability
now?
to hear than to hear you moan into a mic. Okay.
See, the
Okay.
joke's on you because I just released my first E EP.
On SoundCloud.
It's called Moanin' and Bonin'.
Moan Bones. Moan Bones.
Oh god.
And it's
Anyway,
just me.
so-
It's okay. Continue.
So
I wasn't gonna say anything. but I
he's
could-
like, all right, I'm releasing this album on Christmas, right? It's like awesome, yes, everybody like he's been hinting at this for years. Like he tweets stuff like Monday, and then Monday comes around, nothing comes out, right? Like Playboi Carti fans are like, oh my god, this again. But then he's like, I'm actually releasing this album. He like showed the album cover. It's like it's coming out on Christmas, and everyone's like, yes, super excited, right? Me included. I'm like waiting at like 11 o'clock on the or 12 o'clock on Christmas Eve. I'm just like, okay, it's gonna come out. I'm gonna start listening to it, right? Comes out, and then I start listening to it. I'm like, oh no, like the first song off the bat. I'm like,
And I
yeah,
just
no,
wanted to
dude, I'm not
say-
digging
and I
this.
just wanted to say, Naimur actually learned when Christmas is for this. This was the first year Naimur knew
Yeah.
what day Christmas was.
This is
I've
the
never
first time
known.
he's ever heard the word Christmas.
It's actually the first year I actually got a calendar, so it's actually kind of cool.
For
Of
those
course it
who
would
don't
be-
know, for those who legitimately don't know, Christian is on December 25th.
Christian is on.
Christian is on December 25th. What about Christian? His birthday?
Get it? Because it said Christian, not Christmas.
Yeah, but yeah, this is the first time I got a calendar, and who would have known this is the most useless year to have a calendar because all the days mixed together when you're at home for 75% of them.
Yeah, there's no point.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. I know
was
the
talking
dates,
about I was
promise.
talking about this with a friend the other day, but a year ago, like around this time, we were learning about coronavirus for the first time.
No, it was like November. Yeah, November or December. Yeah.
Well, I only
Yeah,
heard
so
about
a
it.
little
I heard
longer.
about it late December, maybe early
All the
January.
TikTok memes. The TikTok memes, bro.
See,
They were
I
like,
never
"Hey,
used
it's Corona
I never,
time.
I never used TikTok before like October 16th of this year because I'm just a
Why
better
did he
person
say
than
that
you.
with such malice?
I'm a better person than you.
Why did he say it? Why did you say? I never used TikTok. like you hated it. Like it was disgusting on your tongue.
It just disgusts me. The name. I don't like saying you're hearing 2 Ks in close succession. That's why
Yeah,
I
we were
dislike the
making fun of
KKK.
people. It was just like a joke, like coronavirus, ha 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 ha,
Yeah.
coronavirus, ha ha. And like TikTok
All
was
of
like,
that aged so well, dude. All of it aged so well.
oh, dude, I
For the
even
record,
love
this
like
is
you know
sarcasm.
the super liberal people that were just like, oh guys, corona. Like this is before it like really became a huge thing in Japan or in America. It's like, dude, you guys are worrying about coronavirus for nothing. Like it only affects old people and it only does whatever. Like
There's
stop
still people
worrying
like that.
about this. Stop being racist. Stop like doing this stuff. Like stop being mad towards Chinese people for coronavirus. Like it only affects old people. Like it's not that big of a deal. And then boom. Then these same people that were saying that
Wait, Naimur,
are like,
Naimur, are you
actually,
saying that?
let's be careful.
Are you saying that we should be racist towards Chinese people for that?
No. I
You
just think
were
it's
saying
funny.
that- You were saying like
I just think it's
people,
funny.
Like, people were saying that and like saying that's not a big deal and saying that it only affects old people as if that's wrong, and also to not be racist towards Chinese people. So it just, I just wanted to
Listen.
clear it up.
My idea.
Just wanted
It's
to
just
clear it
funny
up
how
that-
basically. Shut up. Anyway,
How they flip flop.
So, yeah, it's how they flip flop. How sides flip flop,
Oh my
basically. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then like how they were like, stop buying masks. I remember Joey just got super mad at me because my dad sent me masks. He was like, oh wow, doctors could use those masks. Can't believe you. I was like, I mean, yeah, technically, but like. All right, I was just saying, like, it's just funny how the sides kind of flipped. Like, like Joey, a friend of ours, he got pretty mad at me for getting or like my dad giving me masks, because he was like, oh, doctors could use those or whatever. And then, like, remember the government lied saying masks were ineffective, don't wear masks,
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, everyone's just panic buying masks either way.
I'm still
Yeah.
unsure if they lied or if they just like didn't
No, they
realize
lied.
how
They had to
important
have
it was
lied.
at the time.
Because
I think-
they also could have gotten shipments of masks.
You're probably right. I think they were trying to avoid a panic, like everyone buys masks and then suddenly there's not enough. Right?
Exactly. That's
They,
exactly
they
what
wanted
was trying
to,
to do.
they wanted to have enough masks for the people who actually need them, like hospital
Yeah.
workers and stuff, because they didn't want everyone.
But the government
yeah.
also, they had a chance to get more masks before this all went
No,
down.
they did.
And they didn't.
Yeah.
They did, and they blew it. So that's the big issue too. So yeah, it was weird to me that all this stuff happened. Anyway, back to Playboy Cardi, real quick. So the album came out, very bad, very bad.
Great transition. Yeah, very bad.
Speaking of
okay.
masks, Playboy Cardi did not. I don't know. Anyway, so
Oh, I get it.
Playboy Cardi album sucked. And to make things even, it's so funny because rappers, they usually like when they release the album at midnight, they're like, enjoy it, man, they love it, and then everyone's like, this is already a banger, I love this, blah blah blah. Like Kid Cudi released an album like 2 weeks ago, and it was really good. Like I liked Kid Cudi's album, and like Taylor Swift released an album, and everybody loved Taylor Swift's album, like it was really good, and so everyone's like, oh my god, this
So
album.
these reviews, these positive reviews flow in, and it's like midnight, and they're already
Yeah,
flowing.
and it's
in,
very
right?
rarely you see a bad album have this like coming in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then everyone's like,
Yeah.
and then people were like, they were like, Cardi, this is literally one of the worst albums I've listened to by far in my entire life. Like my ears are literally
Oh
bleeding.
my-
Here, I have a tweet that I saw this on. Hold on, let me see.
Here, while Naimur's pulling it up, I just wanted to say, y'all know how Taylor Swift doesn't really make fantastic music. All I'm saying,
What?
blonde hair, blue
She
eyed,
makes pop music.
blonde hair, blue eyed. I'm just saying,
No,
Could be something
no,
there.
No,
could be something there.
no, 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 no.
Could be something there. We're not gonna allude to anything like that, Luke.
Oh my god! Wait, hold on. I'm trying to.
It is.
I found
possible.
one tweet. Okay, so this one said this one came out 6 minutes or like it came out like right after the album released,
Mm.
which also it doesn't make sense. So clearly some of it was just people just like hating like immediately like hate train,
Yeah.
which because the album's like an hour and a half long. You can't
Because
just
there's no way
listen
you
to
listen to
it
all
immediately.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they got like the leak beforehand, but I doubt that. Anyway, he said, just finished listening to the album, currently lost for words, man. Crying real tears, Cardi, bro. This is quite possible, quite literally, sincerely, the worst possible music I've ever heard. My ears are dripping with blood. Currently on my way to the emergency room on Christmas Day. Thanks.
That's
Jeez,
funny.
man.
It's like people were just like clowning him, and he was like, "Oh my god, I can't wait to perform this album live." And everyone was like, "Please don't stop. I hate this album so much."
Oh.
And then to make things worse, he's you guys remember Iggy Azalea, right? The person that made
Mhm.
the fancy song, like I'm
Yeah.
so fancy.
Mhm.
This is getting copyrighted.
You
but-
didn't even know.
yeah, that song, right?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
she was dating him,
Mm-hmm.
and like for a while, and then they no.
It's
They
so
had a
bad.
kid together. They
Uh,
literally had a kid together, like recently, like a
and
couple
named it
months
Cardi
ago,
B.
right?
Yep.
No, not that.
Mhm.
But like she literally just she just like starts Twitter ranting about him, and like everyone's like like whoa, like to make things even worse. Like imagine having a terrible album and then your baby mama starts yelling at you. She basically was like, oh, he cheated on me,
Mhm.
like wow, like we had a son. And like he literally went to an album listening party for his new album instead of spending Christmas with me and his newborn
Yeah.
son, which he wanted, by the way. Like it was his idea to have the kid.
Mhm.
Like they wanted, like he wanted the kid.
Mhm.
And then another thing she said was he literally didn't even show up to his birth. Like it was a scheduled
kid's birth.
C-section.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she only was allowed one guest, and they had to like and so she chose him because he's the father.
Oh, I
Yeah.
remember. I heard about
I
this.
did hear about
I
this.
heard
Yeah.
about this.
I just didn't know any
Yeah, so
context.
Yeah, so
I
he,
didn't know this was related.
so
in any
he's
way.
the father. So she obviously chose him as the only guest to come for the
Mhm.
birth, right? And then it turns out he was in Philadelphia playing PlayStation 5 with his like rapper buddy, Little Uzi Vert. For
Yeah,
those
I
who
heard
don't know.
about this, where she was complaining
Yeah.
that he was gaming
Yeah.
while she was giving birth.
And then like she had seen like her friend apparently came to the house and saw that like the chick that he was cheating on her with was there, and like she was like yelling at her through FaceTime and stuff like that, and she like screen recorded this whole thing. I'm like, oh my god, dude. And like a lot of people originally they're like, oh, like they're getting on the card. This is the thing, like some dudes are just so stupid. They're like some people were like they like pulled up pictures of the chick in question that they're just cheating on, or he was cheating on her with. He was like, if I was Cardi, I would cheat on her too, bro. I'm like, shut up. You're not even Cardi. You'll
That's
never
so
even
fucked.
remotely be. And it's
That's-
obviously a
what is-
joke.
Sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say, what is that even doing? Like, what are you trying to? Is it a joke?
It's-
Like, if
it has
those
to be a
people
joke.
aren't joking, that's just the dumbest thing I've
Yeah.
ever heard.
And then it's like, what's even worse is like, people were just like, the guys were saying, Cardi, who cares, man? Like, like Iggy Azalea is just a white woman trying to beat a black man down. Yada yada. It's like, no, bro. If you're siding with Cardi on this one, dog, like,
Yeah.
I don't understand.
You're
Like,
just
you have to admit
wrong.
that he's a terrible father, man. And then I think what's interesting though is if this album was any good, I think a lot more people would come to his defense. But the problem is the album's
Yeah.
so bad, people are like hating on him even more, which is like, dang, dude,
Kinda have to
man.
listen
this
to
is
it
so
now.
crazy. Luke, trust me, it's literally just him like being like, yeah, ooh, yeah, but like not good. Like he usually does it in a way that's really good, but like it's really bad in the way he's saying. He like repeats himself. He just does the same thing for like 2.5 minutes per song. It's like, I murder when I sleep. I murder when I sleep. I murder when I sleep. I murder when I sleep.
Honestly,
It's like, dude.
it's kind of a message I could get behind.
And then some people were like, guys, you.
That's a message I can get behind.
And then people were just like, guys, you guys are just hating. It's too late or early to hate on this. It's like, no, bro, this sucks. And like I've like been listening to it, kind of. I'm like, this continues to suck. There are albums though where it's like I hated them when they first released, but then I like really loved them later on.
Oh yeah.
Like Life of Pablo by Kanye West was like that. Even Yay by Kanye West was like that. I did not like it at first, but then it became
Mostly
really good.
Mostly Kanye West music.
Jesus is King though I still did not like.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I still don't like that as much. Actually, I kind of liked it when it came out. Then I started hating it even when it left. But
Is
yeah,
it because you realize that you're not Christian?
no, I wanted to be Christian so bad for that one album. No, but yeah, it's just Playboy Cardi. It's just such a letdown, and apparently he's gonna release a deluxe version, which is this is what rappers are doing. I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts on this. Basically, what they do is they release an album, right? And a couple weeks to months later, they basically release a deluxe version that has like double the amount of songs, and it's just like other songs on it. Does that make sense? Like, how do you guys
Yeah.
feel about that?
Kind of stupid.
I'm assuming it's behind a paywall.
Yeah.
No,
obviously.
it's. I mean, it's
Oh,
just like
what?
if you have Spotify, you can listen to the deluxe version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then it's
Well,
just
who
like
cares then?
then
Just, I think
then
why not
genuinely
just release it
couldn't
with
care.
the
It's like
original
just,
album?
Well, why not
Just
I
just?
do
guess
it.
My
maybe
question
to
is,
bring more hype.
yeah,
why
or
not
why
make
not just
another
make or just release the other album, or just make it a new album?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly. What? Yeah.
So
I
the
don't know.
leaks that I was talking about earlier, like none of them were on the like. I think maybe one or two of the leaks were on the album Whole Lotta Red, which
Maybe
is
they're all-
a real shame. Because
So you're hoping and praying it's on the deluxe.
well, no,
version.
what he said was he was like, "Hey, what songs do you want on the deluxe?" And everyone was like, literally just this, and it was all the leaks. It's like that's it. Just put the leaks on, dude. That's all we want. Like just to have an actual way to listen to these songs instead of having to download them from like Dropbox or something like that. And
Right.
like I don't know. I just like dude, he had it made. Like people literally heard the album basically like 2 years beforehand with the leaks. Just
Yeah.
release the leaks as the album. You have it done, bro. Just do that. Like you don't have to make new stuff. But
Hey,
no.
I'm just saying. How do we know? How do we know they didn't sample it? Sample the leak. Sample from the leaks. Or the leaks made.
They didn't.
How do we
They
know
definitely
the,
did
the
not.
leaker didn't sample it from someone?
I don't know.
I wanna say what I find most interesting is with this situation where his album just kind of sucks, right?
Uh-huh.
I feel like, and then he's releasing a deluxe version with way more songs later on, and it's all the songs that people like. What you're supposed to do as an artist, at least in my mind, is you produce a lot. Like, quantity gets you quality, right? So you produce a lot of art, and then when you produce enough of it, there are a few that turn out good. It's like the whole story of like, if you ask somebody to take 100 photographs, just whatever, they will have a better photo than asking somebody to take one really good photo.
Mm-hmm.
But what he probably did wrong in this case is just like, rather than like taking the best of all of the things he's made, he's just taking everything he's made and putting it in an album.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, because I think a lot of artists make songs that just never end up on albums. You know,
Yeah, for
because
sure.
they're just like, oh, this isn't just.
Kanye West does
And
that
I
so
don't know.
much, and I think Kanye
You have
West.
to know when to do that. You have to know when to cut stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so annoying. Like, it's weird to me because Little Uzi Vert did this at the beginning of the year, right before we had to get quarantined. Where I'm not saying he caused a quarantine. I'm just saying it happened at the same time. But do with those
It's
details.
very
as well.
coincident.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, Eternal, a take. This album was like 3 years of hype, kind of. Like when I was, like they were just like people were just trying to, because all these leaks as well was the same thing that was happening in Cardi was happening to Little Uzi, and like everybody was like Eternal, a take. Like we want Eternal, like a take. All these leaks, right? And then he releases the album, like surprise. He releases it like a week earlier than it's supposed to be, right? And it's like, it was okay. Like, I didn't really like it that much. A lot of people were like, you know, like, I think a part of the people, like, they're a little bit in denial or biased. They're like, no, man, it's good. You know, they're like crying, trying to like it, but they clearly don't like it, you know?
Yeah.
So, and then he literally was like, yeah, I'm going to release a deluxe next week. And it's literally like double, it's like the amount of songs from the first one, but like all the leaks in it. So it's like double the songs total. And it's like a whole nother album entirely. So it's like, why don't you just make it another album?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. But and then that stuff was good. Like I genuinely like that stuff. That was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think the same thing's gonna happen. I think a lot of people will like that because Playboi Carti's like Die Lit. It is such a good album. Just like there's so many good songs on there. Like even if you don't necessarily like rap, like just liking that, like that album's really good. I really like that album. Like I didn't even like Playboi Carti that much.
I'm sorry. How many times am I gonna hear "dong" as you guys hit your microphones?
I just want to say that's
I don't know
only
who's
Naimur.
It's probably me because I
I
have a
knew it
metal.
was.
I have
I
a metal
think it was Naimur
stand.
that
I
I
have a
haven't
metal
moved.
stand.
I haven't
Yeah.
moved probably in the past.
I'm just
15
messing
minutes.
with you. I'm also trying to move on from rap because I think we've talked about it.
Yeah, that's
before.
fine. That was all I want to talk about the topic. I just think it's
10, 15 minutes.
you should make a movie like this, or this could be like an Arrested Development episode, man. With just how many bad things at once are happening. It's just
Yeah,
it's so
honestly,
funny.
that-
all right. What do you want to talk about, Daniel?
How about that bombing? Oh, I wanted to talk about the bombing.
What a
How about
transition.
that bombing, dude?
Speaking
the way
of
you
bombing-
said that, the way you said that, dude.
I want to talk about the bombing.
Speaking,
I wanted to talk about the bombing.
You said that
because-
so nonchalant. How about that bombing, everyone?
speaking,
And then you
of,
actually realized there was a bombing.
yeah. Speaking
No, I knew
of
there was a
artists
bombing. I knew
bombing
there
their
was a bombing.
songs, yeah. Speaking
No,
of
okay,
artists
so I wanted to
bombing
say-
their albums,
This is
talk about
this
the
is
actual bombing.
This is a
Yeah.
political take.
I'm
but
terrified. dude.
Trump has not said anything about the bombings, and it's because he's waiting to see if the person who like committed the bombings supports him or not.
see, I don't know exactly what happened. Could you tell me? Because I generally don't know what happened.
Here, I'll sum it up real quick. There is footage of an RV pulling up next to the massive AT&T building in Nashville, and then it's parked. And then it just sits there for quite a while. Then it starts playing on loudspeakers from the RV, "Clear the area," or whatever it says. It's like, "Get out of the area. Warning, danger. Please leave the area." Blah, blah, blah. For a few minutes, and then it explodes.
Yeah.
And it, like, shuts down AT&T service for, like, across the southeast. for,
Still is
like,
shut down,
quite
by
a
the
few
way.
days.
Like
It might
4 or
still
5
be
days
up.
later.
Yeah, I think it's still a shutdown.
Jeez, man.
So, but that's, first of all, that's terrifying to me.
Yeah.
The
Super
fact that it was
terrifying.
not intended to kill people.
It was infrastructure.
That's why it had the siren. It was to take down
infrastructure.
our infrastructure. Hey everyone, this is Daniel from the future editing this podcast, and I just wanted to put a timestamp in here for anyone who doesn't want to listen to the next half hour or so of 3 left-leaning people go on a tangent about politics and stuff like that. So for anyone who's uninterested in that conversation, I would suggest skipping to 1 hour and 14 minutes. I believe it's right at that timestamp is when we move on.
What's like? What is this? What if this is like militiamen? You know what I mean? Where it's like the people that were trying to kidnap the Michigan governor and stuff like that. It's like
Yeah.
I'm not saying same people,
Definitely
but just
could
like this type of ideology.
dissimilar.
Where they're
Yeah,
like,
something like
we
that.
want the free states of America, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like that's so scary. It's really scary.
Yeah, I wanted to say I like what I said is true because if the bomber does support him, to support Trump, it's going to be, oh, a troubled young man or like a mentally ill, like
I don't know
person.
though, man.
But if they don't, it's a radical leftist who must and this is why the Democratic Party must be destroyed.
Antifa.
This is
Antifa,
Biden's
yeah.
America.
I think
Exactly.
Look,
Yeah.
I think it's less than that, and it's more they just want to know.
I don't think there's enough information.
Like, it's hard to
to
say
know, yeah.
anything.
But why doesn't
Sure,
Trump?
it's bad,
why doesn't
but like
Trump
you don't
just
want to come
denounce
out
him?
and say
Why doesn't-
anything.
He hasn't said a word about it. Why doesn't he just
We
denounce
don't
him?
even because we don't even know if it's a person, if it's a group, if it's like I know obviously he should say like
He should say this is a
like,
tragedy.
something.
This is a tragedy.
I
This is
understand,
bad.
dude, but I think Luke.
did anybody? Oh, didn't 3 people get hurt?
I
Luke
don't
got
know.
hurt? Dang, that's even worse.
3 people had
But
undisclosed.
the
injuries,
thing is though, 911 doesn't work in that area
Yeah.
of Tennessee anymore because they
That's a
use
good
AT
point.
and T. So
Yeah, I
how
think,
many
I
more
think
people
somebody said
are
millions
dying?
of people can't call 911.
How many more people are dying
Yeah.
because of this?
Mhm.
Is the thing.
I
And
understand.
that's
but
another
I just
thing.
think
The book I'm reading right now, it talks about this quite a bit. Is it when like there's like a
Mm-hmm.
war or when there's like stuff going on, you don't really see the opposing side as people. You see them as Republicans, right, or Democrats, and in this case, you see them as
Mm-hmm.
the city of was Nashville, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you see them as the citizens. You see them as Nashville. You don't think about like Uncle Bob who had a heart attack and couldn't call 911 because the AT&T service was down. Or you don't think
Yeah,
about
you can't think of
That's a
the
good point.
humanity behind
Yeah.
these people.
See, but
It's like
I think
you know,
also,
yeah.
Luke, it's been 4 years. I think you know who he is at this point, right? Like, it's not like I understand, like, oh, we can lay into him all he wants, but you know who he is. You know what he will and will not do. You know how he's going to act, you know, all these things. I understand, like,
Mhm.
like, I am one of the people that's, like, I understand, like, a lot of people call him racist, and there's just no evidence, or, like, just in-your-face evidence in his presidency that he is truly racist, right? It's the nuances that you have to look at. You can't look at what he says
Mhm.
verbatim as, oh, he said this, you know what I mean? And I think, I'm not arguing with you. I definitely think he treats the people that did support him a lot differently than those that didn't, you know what I mean? So it is kind of messed up. Like,
like how he withheld
He'll say-
aid from Democratic states.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
he let
So,
people die because they didn't support him.
but I don't think he
like
sees
how he
it
is-
that way. I
like
think he
how
just
he
sees
is-
it as the money thing. Like, he doesn't
Like how
see
he
it
is
as lives.
like how he is a legitimate psychopath.
He's not. He's more of a. It's more of like a child complex where it's like very simplistic solutions to get what they want. You know what I mean? Like, he does a lot of that.
Which is
Like,
one of
even
the
if you look at
traits,
his
which is one of the
businesses-
traits of antisocial personality disorder.
I'm sure maybe, or just like he just so craves the attention and just getting what he needs that he has to do these
He
things.
just really wants to take the hottest take possible.
I understand,
These-
but like
these
I
are
understand this
facts.
thing.
Namer, what you're describing is psychopathy.
Yeah, I'm not okay. Look, I don't like him. A lot of people
I know,
don't like.
I
I'm not
know.
trying to defend him, but I just think, you know, there's just so much we can do. He's gonna be gone in a month. That like to me, everything he's doing is useless at this point. I don't think he's done a single actual good piece of governance. And I have no idea what to make of the idea that he's giving, or he wants a $2,000 stimulus check. I don't know if he's just trying to put people in like have them think good of him until when he comes back. So like if he runs in 2024, he'll be like, hey, but remember I got the $2,000 stimulus check.
He didn't
We're all-"
though. He signed the $600 bill. The
Oh,
$600
he did?
bill.
See,
He did.
I didn't
Yeah,
see that.
today, like a few hours ago.
What was up with that? That's the
he
most
wanted people.
random out
I think
of nowhere.
I think Namer's right. I think he wanted like if he runs for re-election in 2024, I think like he wants to say like, hey guys, I did try and get that I did try and get the $2,000 bill, so I did it. I tried. Yeah.
I just thought it was
But
really
then what
interesting
people
that when
then
he came
his
out
supporters
with that,
would be like, his supporters won't realize that he could have done it in September, or October, or November, or
Listen,
August,
all these
or
people-
July, or June.
You could put this information every single Republican voter's face in the Senate runoff election, right? You could just be like, oh, this, that. They will not change their mind. They'll be like, well,
No, I know.
I'd rather have a Republican in office than a Democrat. Whatever. Like people in Alabama's not Georgia. I'm not saying that in any way. But in Alabama, I remember seeing like there was a Senate. It was either a Senate election or a House election, and the Republican candidate was like found not guilty, but he was accused of like sexual assault and all these horrific things. And then it was like I think some people were saying like we'd rather have a rapist in office than a Democrat. It's like that type of stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
geez, man.
That's so
Like,
messed
oh, Again, I don't remember the exact evidence. I could be wrong if that was Alabama or not. I'm sorry. But I just remember that being a thing. Like, this is a genuine mindset that some people have, right?
See, that's
I'm
why
sure some people on the left have that too. Like, I'd rather elect anybody, I'd rather elect Joe Biden than any reasonable sounding right-leaning person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's
See,
genuinely, it goes
why-
both ways.
That's part of the reason that the scene in The Trial of Chicago 7 where Eddie Redmayne's character gets pissed at Sacha Baron Conan's character. I can't remember their names. Because, like, whenever people would think of, like, the reform movement or the progressive movement, they think of hippies and, like, stuff like that. So that scene resonated with me because whenever people think of the Democratic Party, they think of the rioters or the quote-unquote Black Lives Matter rioters, the ones who, like, break
It's
in
just so
stores
crazy,
and
'cause
stuff
this
and
is-
burn down cities and stuff. Or burn down blocks and, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because those people
Yeah.
are detrimental to the movement of Black Lives Matter. And they don't realize
Yeah.
it. But,
It's
like,
just-
and, like...
there's so many...
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
You
you.
could-
But,
and I wanted to say that defund the police is a bad slogan. It's just bad.
yeah, it's
because
bad.
It's so
messaging.
alienating.
what?
Everybody knows this.
It's so alienating.
Yeah, it's. I think I've talked about this with you guys,
think
where
so.
there's like so many better slogans,
Mhm.
but it's the one that stuck. So
Yeah.
it's whatever.
It's the one
We're not
that-
disagreeing with the idea behind it. We're disagreeing with like the marketing of it. Right.
Well,
Okay, but then
the
also,
whole
I was
idea-
thinking about this. Sorry, Naimur, again. But I was thinking about this
No, you're good.
earlier today. But when Democrats, or, you know, the feminists and stuff, say, like, oh, all men are trash, all white men are trash, obviously, most of them are talking about all toxic men, or all toxic white men are trash, right? Or all toxic cops are bastard, right? But what they don't realize is that stuff is what turns teenagers into, like, the alt-right people. They're like,
It's a vicious
"Oh,
cycle,
these people, these people are, like, telling me that I'm trash.
They're alienating.
They're telling me that I'm trash. I cannot support this party because it tells me that I'm trash. But it just pisses me off so much that people can't be so...
Well, I
people
would
are
like
so,
to say,
like, they lack a sense of self-awareness. My lights have turned off. They
Oh,
lack
there
such
goes
a
his
sense
light.
He
of
got so mad his
self-awareness.
lights turned off, ladies and gentlemen. You didn't see that.
They
I
lack
did.
such a
Luke,
sense of self-awareness that they're turning people
Yeah.
away from their movement. It's so agonizing to me. Okay, anyway.
Luke, what I think to combat that idea of what you're saying. See, I was like kind of like you with that. I was like, yeah, I understand. Like, girls
Because I
really
wanted to
mean-
say that's what turned me into the right when I was in my early teen years. That's what made me
you-
like
you-
that. Is like,
you were an incel.
Yeah.
We know. You could say it. No,
Yeah.
just kidding. but basically, kind of, I don't, not to play devil's advocate, but just the opposite side, kind of. Like, I was kind of understanding that. I was like, yeah, like, I understand they don't really mean all men, you know, like they can clearly know that, like, or they mean it that, like, men smart enough to know that it's not about them. Like, they're fine with it, right? I understand that, but then I was just like, it's just a dangerous game when you talk in generalizations like that, right? Like, you can't be arguing, don't generalize this, don't generalize that, and then you're generalizing this as a, like, not figuratively, not, you clearly don't mean all men, like, kill all men or whatever, right? But I also think it's on the people themselves. It's like, I think people just don't have strong identities, mainly, like, male sides, you know? It's just like, they themselves, their identities are so weak that when people say stuff like this, particularly women, they get so hostile because they feel like that identity is being taken from them or jeopardized in some sort of way.
yeah,
You know, because if you were truly a man, you know what I mean, like, that wouldn't affect you. Like, quote, what does it really mean to be a man? But if you were truly like someone that knew that they weren't a part of the problem, or just knew what the problem is, you wouldn't be affected by that. Like, you treat women
the
with
thing is,
respect, you
I
treat
know
stuff like that.
I'm not affected. It's not.
No, I'm
about
not
me
calling you
personally.
out in any
Okay,
way.
I'm just
Luke.
making
I'm
sure
just
you
saying.
know, yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm
It
just saying.
doesn't
Some
affect
people.
me personally anymore, and I never really did. Like, I knew in the back of my head that they're not talking about all men. It's just I refused to recognize it when I was, like, in my early teens. It was like 7th through 9th or 10th grade that I, like, was
Well,
a
I just-
semi-Republican.
Yeah, I just
And
didn't
now I'm even more to the left than all of you. So
Hold on. I'm trying to remember something. Naimur, go ahead.
Okay, well, I was just thinking to the fact that it's not you, it's the
remember.
people that are, like, when girls just talk about anything relating to like I hate men, blah 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 blah, the top comment's always a dude just like, oh, like see how that gets you or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
oh well, this is why I don't like women, yada yada. Like, bro, like come on, like
Mhm.
I understand. Like it's clearly there's something wrong with their identity that they're just like so
No, I
stricken
agree.
with this fact that it's like,
Yeah.
you know, it's stuff like that. It's like, you know, people get so mad, like especially when it comes to like, you know, me. Like I remember I was listening to the Kind of Funny podcast, and Greg
Mhm.
Miller, he's like one of the leads on Kind of Funny. He was talking about how he's just saying, I'm gonna try and make this as bare bones as possible so that
Yeah.
we don't have to censor it or anything. He's just basically saying that men or just boys should be taught to treat women much more respectfully and to not assault or harass them in any way, right? And he said that was like the tweet that he's gotten the most backlash on whatsoever, right? Even though it's not really a controversial statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is controversial about that?
And I think it's a lot of just the men with frail identities. They're just people with frail
Mhm.
identities in general that just
I think
don't find like they feel hostile towards it because it's like they're afraid that their identities.
What
in
I've
jeopardy
noticed is that
subconsciously.
the people who are the most stereotypically masculine are also the most fragile in their masculinity.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
basically what I'm trying to say. But
Yeah.
you know, and like I
would
wasn't a good
love-
person either. You know, like I think I have also made mistakes, and Luke and Daniel, yeah, I'm sure you guys have made mistakes too. It's like we learn,
Yeah.
and I
Just
mean maybe
kidding.
people, yeah, maybe with like cancel culture and stuff, who knows? People will just be like, you can't change or whatever, you know. But like, I'm not a believer in that. I think you can change. You know, I understand.
Mhm.
It depends. It's to a degree, right? Very
Mhm.
much to a degree. But
Yeah.
you know, when I was younger, I was a little fart. I'm not gonna curse, but I was generally like not a good person when it came to all
Mhm.
this stuff like that.
Yeah.
I didn't understand how women worked. I didn't understand how anything worked. You know,
Yeah.
and just like, you know, clearly I've learned
I think
better. Or I hope
that's-
I've learned better, and I still need to learn
I think-
better. I think that's a big thing too. We still
Yeah.
need to keep learning better. We still have to be there.
I was just gonna say, one of the ways you get better and you learn what your mistakes are, and you like learn about other people. It's like gaining new perspectives. I think a lot of people have a very small perspective, a small lens on life, and they go their entire life without gaining any other perspective.
Mhm.
And so the more perspective you get from like different angles, from different people, from different backgrounds, stuff like that, the more you learn, the more you can like, I don't know, break out of that.
Yeah, one of the things
Fragility or
one of the things I
whatever.
don't like about TikTok is that they're kind of normalizing this not behavior. I hate to say it like that, but it's like
Mhm.
there's trends that just being like, oh, like a guy be like, oh, I just liked a girl and she was just playing me for this, blah 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 blah, and then the top comments are like, oh, stand up king, like don't worry, all girls are the same, yada yada. It's like kind of normalizing this idea that women are the troublesome,
Yeah.
or like, you know, it's like these women don't
Mhm.
want to be with like incel behavior, like by definition,
Yeah.
incel behavior.
Yes.
It's like this. It's like kind of getting
Mhm.
normalized in a way when you look at For You pages and stuff like that. I'm just like, this is a very dangerous game you're playing. 'Cause
And
this is
even
a
if it's
generation
intended
of
as a
people.
joke, it will still end up
Mhm.
going down the wrong direction, because
Yeah.
there will eventually be people who are not joking, and then eventually there will be lots of people who are no longer joking, and
Mhm.
it just kind of
Well, this is like this is
I-
a generation of people that are getting altered by this, and it is just dangerous, man. This
Yeah.
is the future
Mhm.
of people,
I agree.
and like people, like obviously assault and all these things like that. It's gotten way better. Like men are getting better in terms of behavior. I know it's the bare minimum. They should be doing what they were
Mhm.
supposed to be doing in the first place.
Yeah.
But it's improving.
Mhm.
But I'm afraid it's gonna regress again or digress again. Just, and
Mhm.
this is what happens.
Yeah.
I had an interesting point related to kind of just like the whole, like we were talking about how these like ideologies like kill all men or all men are pigs or whatever, all of those things, they're so extreme, and we know that they don't mean the actual extreme example where it's like, okay, really they just mean all toxic men or
Yeah.
whatever, like I think the issue, and this is again kind of playing devil's advocate, and I just wanted to mention this earlier so we can go back to the identity crisis in a second, is that for an ideology to take place in our current world, it has to be extreme. So like
Yes.
Mhm.
like
I was gonna kinda
it's
say
just
that
because
too,
I don't know, the
but- yeah.
culture we have is just kind of like, unless it's not, if it's not extreme, if it's not like eye-catching and like almost like shocking to hear at first, if it doesn't have that shock factor, then it's not going to take hold.
Mhm.
So this whole like kill all men narrative is like taking hold because it is like that, it almost comes off as like shocking to hear that, like, oh, you want to kill off literally 50% of the population, and then you learn about it and it's like, okay, that's not really what they mean. But yeah, it's like they kind of need that to market the
Wait, that's
Yeah.
what. Remember when
But then-
before defund the police, it was abolish the police, right? And people
Yeah.
were just saying abolish the police because it was getting people on the right riled up. And I think the thing that Democrats and just people on the left are so bad at is messaging and stuff like that. And the thing that's making Republicans so smart, like clearly, if you just go by the sheer numbers of the point, Democrats should win every single election every year, right? And they don't, because Republicans have basically festered themselves into rural America, into these like spots of America, and are just basically manipulating them through messaging and wording, right? And these people are none the wiser because they've been fed all this information that they think is true. And, you know, it's not really necessarily their fault. You can't really blame them. It's their, if anything, it makes it even more sinister that these leaders up in offices are doing these things, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you talk about like little things. It's like calling global warming climate change, right? So it sounds less urgent. So then, you know, all of a sudden these people on the right don't necessarily think of it as much of an issue as it needs to be.
Yeah.
Or the death tax, you know, when it's just taxing people that make or that get over $2 million in assets from a deceased loved one. You know what I mean? It's like these messaging and wording things are what have made the Republican Party so successful, and yet the left is doing the opposite because they want a revolution, or at least in the extreme side of the left, they want a revolution.
Yeah.
They think you have to defeat it from not from within, but from like outwards. You have to go in, take it if you want it. You know what I mean? And I don't know how that's going to work. It really won't. Otherwise,
It's
how
not
what
gonna.
is
The
government?
Democratic Party needs to fundamentally change its mission and its goals.
But it's
and
not the Democratic Party. It's the people outside.
No, I
of it.
know. I'm just saying the Democratic Party needs to bring people in and like say like, guys, you're harming our mission right now. You're literally harming the point of the party, or you're harming your own goals. Like,
Well, bureaucracy sucks, bro. But you have to play the game in order to win.
I think
Yeah,
exactly.
The only
I think
thing you have to do.
this is the most frustrating thing, and we've talked about this before. Well, people are like, well, it's not even worth voting for, Democrats or whatever, because they're not taking it to the extreme. They're not fighting for what I believe in. I want them to defund the police, and Joe Biden says he's only, for like reform, like cop reform or whatever. It's like police reform. So it's like they're like, well, if he's not gonna if we're not gonna get universal basic income, then I'm not even gonna vote for him. It's like you can't get to that point. You can't just jump to that point. Okay, we have a long way to get there, and you're gonna have to make concessions along the way. And I don't think people understand that. There's a lot of people who don't vote because their whole idea is, well,
that me up too.
it's not.
It's like he's not
it's
left
not
enough,
far
so I'm
off.
not gonna vote for him. You gotta play the game, dude. That's how.
Or they
it works.
they clown him.
Oh my
Like a lot of people
God.
are now clowning Joe Biden afterwards, right? Like, they're yelling, it's like your cabinet's not as diverse as I wanted it to be.
Okay,
and
well,
all
that's
these
different
things like
because
that.
it's already been voted in.
Yeah, I understand, but like they're like slandering him now, and
Yeah.
now they're like that was the joke, It's like slander Joe Biden time now that he's elected. Like I voted for him, but now I can hold him accountable. I understand that to a degree, you know what I mean? But like there is so much, and especially because it's just so many young kids are now getting into politics. It's good. It's a good thing. The problem is the internet has made people's attention span so short and so instant, like instant gratification, is that people want results now. They don't want to wait 4 years to wait for like change to happen. They don't want to wait for like this whole runoff election to decide things. They don't want to like have a bipartisan legislature that might happen if Georgia's Senate runoffs go either split or to just the Republicans in general.
Yeah.
So it's like they don't want that. They want it instantaneously. And
I know.
honestly,
That's
you won't
like-
get that.
That's like people getting mad at Kamala Harris or Kamala. I don't actually know how to-
Kamala.
I know how to pronounce
Kamala.
her name, and then when I say her name, I don't know how to pronounce it. Kamala, whatever. How like Lindsey Graham, for example, was congratulating her on the Senate floor, or like personally, like shaking her hand on the Senate floor.
Fist bump.
About
Not
fist
like
bump. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
On the Senate floor for her victory or their victory, and people were like, "She shouldn't be doing that. They're both the same. They're all the same." That's like that's
all the
so
same. It's like-
stupid. Oh
We've
my
talked
god!
about this actually.
Well, it's
We
just
talked about
interesting.
this.
How can you
It's
be so
interesting
dumb?
seeing.
They're not the same.
Yeah,
but
it's interesting seeing people on the right. Like, I don't know how much weight there is to this, but people are saying like there's people that saying they don't plan to vote, like on the right because they think the election's rigged. So it's kind of like a detriment to
That's
everything
chill.
people's doing.
I'm not gonna. That's chill.
But I don't know how much truth there is to that. You know what I
Luke's
mean?
okay with that.
I don't know how much truth there
I
is
don't
to
know.
that. Like I don't.
There's
truly
all
know.
that. There's
Not
all that
much.
messaging too, where they're like, "Hey guys, in protest, write in Donald Trump for the Senate election."
Yeah.
It's like
See, I'm
just trying to take votes away from them.
The thing that would make me the happiest right now is if the diehard Trump fans break. I think I've talked about this before. If the diehard Trump fans actually end up breaking from the Republican Party and make their own political party, because then you just have a split in the Republican Party, and Democrats would be the main party.
Yeah, I understand that, but this happened already with the Tea Party. This
No, I
already
know.
happened.
We've talked about
And
this
then-
before.
And it caused Trump,
But-
dude. Like, it literally caused Trump. So I don't know how much weight there is to that. I just feel like the Republican
Luke,
Party...
I don't know that we want that to happen. What's going to happen is, Luke, for about two election cycles, Democrats will have the majority, but then the Republicans will be like, oh, we're screwed. We got to, like, adapt so we can start winning elections.
That's true.
And they'll absorb the Trump party, right? And then they'll just become even farther right.
Yeah, but by then...
So I don't think that's what you want.
But by then, will the Republican Party have shrunk? Because
No.
more young people... Because,
Not
okay,
at all.
listen. The Republican Party is already shrinking.
No, it's not.
And
It's
after
literally-
8 or 12 years of the Republican Party getting no votes, or like getting very little votes and having like a
8.
minority...
That's already happened, and it hasn't changed them at all.
Yeah,
Look,
but
I'm gonna be
even
honest
now,
with you,
the
I do
Republican
not know.
Party is shedding numbers at record pace.
Luke, I also don't know how that's true. I don't believe that.
No,
is
they
true.
might be shedding numbers, but they're not. But the reason is their voters are so strategically placed it does not matter, right?
I know,
Like Florida.
but at a
Florida's,
certain
I
point,
think, going
at
to
a
go
certain
even
point-
more
But at a certain
Republican.
point, if they lose so many numbers, it doesn't matter how strategically their votes are.
I don't know if so. The idea is they're probably going to lose Texas in 2 election cycles, maybe the next election cycle if they actually campaign. But that's the idea is that they might lose Texas, right? So what's going to happen then? So they have to rely on other states, which they can totally do that. Like, you know, if they just keep Florida becomes a solid red state instead of just a swing state. And same thing with Ohio. Like, you know, Trump won by like 400,000 or 500,000 in each state. It's like, if that happens, then you know you make up Texas basically. That's all you do.
Wait,
And then
did Trump win Ohio this year?
yes, he did
Oh.
by a lot.
Oh,
So-
wait, I was thinking... Okay, whatever, yeah. Yeah, sorry.
Exactly. So the demographics are shifting. Yeah, you know, they can make up that groundwork if they truly need to. So I don't think
But
it's
see,
as
what
big
you're
of a...
saying, neighbor, what you're saying is if the Republicans lose 30 or 40 electoral votes, but keep 40 of the votes that they had this year,
if
they
sustain,
still have a big net loss, is what I'm
they
saying.
could gain back Florida, dude. They can gain back Florida as well.
They never
can make
lost
up 15
Florida.
votes from that.
They never really lost Florida.
Or not Florida. Sorry, Georgia. I mean Georgia. They can gain back Georgia. Yeah,
But still, that's a net loss of, what, 20 electoral votes?
they can gain Georgia. They can gain Michigan again.
This is getting very math heavy, Luke. I
I'm
think
just-
you're getting too nitty gritty details. Here's what I will say. I guarantee. Here's my $5 bet of the day. I am betting $5 that in 20, 30 years the Republican Party is still around, still an active
don't think so.
opposition to the Democrats.
I think they might
In
become more
20 to
progressive
30
over time.
years, I definitely
they're
don't
gonna-
think they're
No,
going
they will,
to still
they
be
will.
here.
Our nation has been a two-party system for pretty much all of its
But it hasn't been the
existence. So
same
I
two parties.
don't see
it
us
hasn't been
moving
the
away
same
from
two
that.
parties, though, is the thing.
It has been for the last 200 years, bro.
No, it has
Basically.
not 200.
Or 150
I mean,
years.
the parties,
140.
the parties' ideologies have been vastly different over time, but they've all originated from remnants of other parties.
And I think the interesting thing out of all of it is what will happen to when are we going to start caring about independent parties? You know what I mean?
We
Where
won't, unless we have a radical change of our voting system and
not-
the way our country is
Yeah,
structured.
not until
it's
we,
not going to happen.
Not until we get rid of
because if you truly
a
want change,
plurality vote.
yeah, if you truly want change and you truly want all this stuff, like the idea is you got to put more strength into these independent parties. You know, like
Which will
libertarian,
obviously
which-
never happen because the two
Yikes.
parties in power already benefit from the system.
for now.
benefit
But
from the
dude,
system.
I'm
it is.
very. I would like to read more about Ross Perot's election because he was just so close. He could have done it.
See,
Like,
I do genuinely think that the Electoral College will be abolished within our lifetime, but also
I don't know about that. But
in our lifetime, our entire lifetime.
Both parties have wanted to do it
Yeah,
at one point
They'll
or another. So
they'll start
I
doing
think
it-
it will happen in our lifetime.
no,
It's
the
just-
only time it will happen is if the left manages to lose the popular vote but win the election. That'll be the only time that they'll start talking about it.
oh yeah.
But I think the only thing that will be like the problem with the Republicans is like they, you know, like you remember that famous Trump quote that you told me. It was just like, you know, with these methods and ideologies that they were trying to put in the election system, like you'd never see a Republican president ever again.
Yeah.
Because it was just, you know, and like I remember hearing a Vox video. It's like the truth
is that how voting works? Huh?
Yeah, it's like it's not that they won't see another Republican president again. They just will never see that type of Republican. So the idea is you should have the parties be better to work towards those systems, right? Like maybe if you actually made it a whole majority system like England or the UK in general, like, hey, why don't you make it so that you appeal to more people as possible instead of just lying to them under their noses and just tricking a minority few that are poor and literally have no idea for what's better than them for them.
Oh, you know what I love? You know what I love? When Republicans are suddenly socialist after Trump says that...
After the 2000... I wanted to bring that up, dude. When he started pushing the $2,000 stimulus check, and literally r/self-aware wolves was flooded with, like, Republicans tweeting things that were very socialist-esque. Since we're talking about politics, do you guys mind if I go on a little rant about the Republican Party?
Sure.
Real quick?
It's
very short. It's very short. Okay, go ahead. You can bring up something because I don't want to derail too much. We were talking about Republicans getting voted and how they get elected.
Well, so you were talking about the socialist thing. The thing I wonder is, man, if there weren't these presidents like FDR or Theodore Roosevelt and these other people, it's like think about these measurements that we have now. Think about a library, right? A library is a place where you can get a book for free as long as you just return it back in this specific day. It might cost a little bit of money to get a library card, but you can get a book for free that you want, right? Like you can do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, do you think let's pretend
free,
library
as long as you're paying taxes to the state?
Yeah, but let's say ideally or ideologically, let's say libraries didn't exist, right? Let's say Bernie Sanders, right? He's running on a presidential platform. Let's say one of his talking points is we want Americans to read more. Let's make this thing called a free book zone where you can go to this place and get books for free. Everybody on the right would just say that's socialist. That is socialism right there. That's genuinely social. Like libraries would not be a thing if they were not invented when they were. That's what I'm like these things that you think about, right? Like, I don't think a lot of people think about that. It's just so interesting to me. It's like these socialist, quote unquote, socialist measurements we have now. If you were to bring them up in today's world, in the U.S. government, people would be like, "Get out of here!" Like, no, this is socialism. Get out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically what I want to say. But if you have anything to say to that,
well,
Daniel.
okay. So my topic kind of leads from that. What we have right now is kind of a progressivist party and then an anti-progressivist party.
Yes.
And so my issue is the thing I want to talk about is like a few points where I feel like because I genuinely believe having a healthy conservative party in a nation is something that's beneficial, right? You don't want to just have a progressivist party constantly pushing a progressivist agenda without something to like counterbalance that and have some like reasonability where it's like, okay, well, let's think about this for a little longer and see how can we implement this best, and et cetera, right? But what we have right now is not that. And what I don't think a lot of people get, and this is what I want to talk about, is the contradiction between what conservatives actually believe and what the Republican Party is doing right now. So, like, one of my points is, I'll just start with the economy, okay? A lot of conservatives, they're fiscally conservative. They think, the government should be spending as little money as possible. Yet the Republican Party, time and time again, increases the deficit.
Yeah.
Increases the military budget. It's like all of this stuff where it's like, okay, then the Republican Party is not supporting your beliefs. If you are fiscally conservative, if you genuinely believe that the government should stop spending so much money. The other thing is conservatives generally support a smaller government. And then you see Republicans, again, like I said, spending more on military.
Yeah.
It's just like, again, another contradiction there. Then you have like religious values. A lot of conservatives have like a social conservative aspect where they, or whatever you want to call it, where they're very religious, and then they vote in a president who has been married 3 times, has like 20 some odd rape allegations, has some of the least No, I don't even know
Just
how
to
to
add
word
into
this.
the
Like,
first
his manners
the first
just
lady thing. And the first lady thing, I saw a Reddit comment that was like, because they were talking about how people didn't want to call Dr. Jill Biden doctor. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
like, I have literally seen the current first lady's butthole on the internet, and like I don't care. Like I don't want to see that. Like I'd rather call them doctor. or
Exactly.
whatever.
I don't. So it's like
I have
they
not.
have
The
these
Reddit
religious
comments are nice.
values, and
Just
then
saying.
they vote for a president who holds a Bible upside down during a photo shoot that he took by pushing protesters out of the way.
Yeah.
It's like it's antithesis is
He's
what
a
it seems
celebrity,
like to
dude.
me.
He's just. It's like a celebrity president. That's what's crazy to me. It's like
And so
imagine.
I think that's what upsets me the most about Republicans right now is that they're voting for a party that does not support what their actual ideologies are, unless your ideologies are, like just anti-progressivist. You don't want like reform for things that need reform. You don't want to fix the climate because that's something that will affect us down the line and is affecting
But a
us.
lot of
It's just
people's
like, stuff like
argument-
that. Like I just don't understand how that's not common sense.
Yeah, but the argument for climate change is just like they don't think it's real because they don't think like it's just historically this is going to happen anyway. So why should
Yeah.
we do any of these things? So it's like that's kind of
Sure.
just a I don't know. It's a bare bones way to look at it, right? Like you could easily just like call people on their crap about it. It's like they're just like denying science at this point. It's like what can you truly believe then, right? It's like, hey, let me cherry pick this one piece of evidence that shows that the opposite of what you're saying is happening, and so we
Yeah.
should just disregard everything then. But and then the thing I also particularly hate, it's like people are like, guys, like let's just like we should be able to like we may have differences, but let's get along. It's always usually white privileged people saying that. I remember specifically when the election happened, it was like, guys, whatever happens during this election, whoever wins, let's love each other, let's be respectful. Let's like shut up, dude. Like you went to your mission trip, whatever. Like it's usually just Christian people that are white that are saying this stuff. It's like, dude,
Who have nothing to
politics
lose.
literally-
Who really have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Who have nothing to
and
lose.
you say that, Daniel, as a white person, right? Like you understand the importance
I
of this
can
stuff.
acknowledge that I have nothing to lose from any of the past elections. Like it
Yeah.
really won't affect me in my lifetime.
Yeah, it's like
Well,
like,
actually,
for me,
the Democratic Party is waging a war on white people. That's it.
white genocide. Yikes. But yeah, it's like these people. It's genuinely a scary thing. It's like when people talk about constructive or like constructive discussion or just discussion instead of discourse, civil discourse. Like Daniel, I remember you were saying you posted like a TikTok on your Instagram story, and a friend of yours, who's a Republican, he's like younger than you. He's like 2 years, 3 years younger than you, and he started talking to you, and you guys had a civil conversation, talked about certain things, but then by the end of it, nothing changed. He was still the same way he was. You were still the same way you were, right? So what is the point of civil discourse if it literally just accomplishes nothing? You know what I mean? Like I understand, like I don't think argument's the way to do it per se. But I just think the way people go at civil discourse is not the correct way to do it because it doesn't accomplish anything. Because at the end of the day, people
And I don't
be
know
like,
what the right answer is.
people at the end of the day, they're just being like, oh, I see how you think that, but I still think the way I think. Like they're not listening to the person. They never truly do. And I say this as someone that probably does the same thing too. Like, I mean, I think a lot of people on the right or on the left think they're just really. There is kind of an arrogancy, slightly, because they truly do think that they're on the right. Not like the right, like political viewpoint, but like the correct political viewpoint.
They think they are in the right.
Yes, exactly. They think they're in the correct political viewpoint because, like right now, it's like we're on the cusp of a arguably authoritarian regime. You know what I mean? With Trump, and a lot of people say you're alarmist. You're doing these things, but it's like no. Like a lot of things he is doing is considered authoritarian, but you don't want to acknowledge that because it's not against your bottom line and stuff like that. So it's like I think left.
Your bottom line.
Yeah, so left people or people on the left just think they're right because they are, theoretically. Yeah. But they think that there's an arrogance to that. So it's like they're just like they're not taking these people seriously that believe these things. And the problem is also these people on the right, a lot of their viewpoints are rooted in some incorrect aspect. Some. I'm not saying they're dumb. I'm not saying they don't know anything. But there may be something that they just don't realize. You know what I mean? Like. And just even people on the left, like I remember
misconceptions, misunderstandings.
I was talking about,
especially when it comes to science.
Yeah, I was talking about immigration to somebody. I was like, because my brother had taught me this too. I didn't even know this. Like it costs more money to have ICE around than just to give citizenship to people, or it's like ICE costs more taxpayer dollars than just to let these illegal immigrants still be here, because people make a lot of money through visa, or like the U.S. makes a lot of money through visas because it's a fee you have to pay. And then another thing is like these are taxpayer dollars that you're paying ICE to get these people.
Yeah.
You know, like they go through any jurisdiction of any state. You know, they just look for these people and stuff like that. And then
Yeah. You're
You know,
spending so much money on just that.
you're spending money
When you
on that
could-
task force,
yeah.
and people don't. They don't like. I told someone like that, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't even know that." Like that makes like clearly this is such a wrong way. But like people are just like, "Oh, but these people were here illegally."
Yeah.
People think they're
Yada, yada.
leeching off our healthcare system and stuff like that, and it's like, no.
Or they don't even think they pay
ICE
taxes.
is leeching off of our tax dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they think illegal immigrants are not paying taxes, so they're leeching off of us that pay taxes.
Yeah.
Or our parents that pay taxes, right? Which is not the case. You're actually paying taxes to ICE, and they're taking your money to do that. You know, and people don't understand that. They just don't know, and people don't even know how progressive tax systems work, or just tax systems in general.
Oh, I wanted to. That was the other thing that bothers me. So many people argue about taxes, yet they don't know how the tax system works. And I think we talked about this, where there are brackets, and people don't understand how the brackets work. They think once you hit a certain bracket, your entire income is just taxed at that new level. It's like that's not actually how it works. And most people don't understand that. It's like people think when we say, "Oh, we want like a 90% tax on the rich," it's not. We're not saying we want all of their income to be taxed at 90%. It's just like once you hit a certain level, everything above that is taxed at 90%.
Yeah, it's like
It's-
after
it's just-
$1
I don't know.
billion
It's like people
dollars.
don't understand things and then they try to argue about them.
Yeah.
And yeah.
This goes both ways.
Those
I
misconceptions
think that
lead
goes
to-
both ways.
Yeah.
See, I'm not the type of person to both sides
Oh,
fight
for sure.
everything because I understand there like some things are not both sides defiable. You know what I mean? Like arguing election
Slavery.
results, yeah, slavery, arguing election results, racism, like those are just not both sides defiable. You can't
Yeah.
be like, oh, there's like two ways to this because there isn't. But to a certain extent, there are some things that are like that. You know, where like, but I also don't like. It's like whenever I talk to someone on the right, they just argue, well, the left does that too. It's like, well, maybe the left that you think you see on the internet and stuff like that. And arguably, maybe I see the right on the internet. The people I see on the right on the internet act like that. But like, I don't know. You
here's
have to
the-
change
I
certain
know this
people's
is-
beliefs on that.
I know this is, and we probably need to move on
Yeah.
to the last
probably.
topic. But
I don't even
Real
think
quickly-
we have time for a last topic.
I know
we
this
can
is
just go at an hour
anecdotal.
45, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I know this is anecdotal, but when you say like, oh, but I could just be seeing people on the internet from the right, and so maybe I don't know. But the people we do know that are on the right still act kind of like the people that we see on the internet, which is kind of scary to me. You know what I mean? Like I see people who genuinely believe these like ridiculous ideas that I see posted online in real life. And I know again it's anecdotal because, you know, it's just a few people that I know. But that is terrifying to me. You meet people on the left, like in real life versus online, there's a clear difference. It's like it's extreme on the internet. You always see the most extreme example, but you meet them in real life and like a lot of them are reasonable, blah blah blah. I don't necessarily feel like that's the same on the right. And again, that could be anecdotal. But
Well, it's
last
just
topic.
Yeah, in a sec. I'm trying to think.
Okay.
Frick, I completely forgot what I was gonna say. This happens to me so much. I just forget what I'm gonna say. I'm trying to vamp, trying to think.
I'll help you remember. We were talking about social media and Republican Party and
Oh
Democrat
yeah,
Party
it's like
and-
I think before. Well, I
There you
think Trump is a byproduct of this whole idea that owning the libs. You know what I mean? Like I think a lot of people on the right, they wanted him, and I think they
Own the
still want
libs.
him more because it's owning the libs. You know, like I remember when I was in like a freshman in high school talking just about Trump is not the answer. And then a dude was just like, "Oh, you're just a libtard, aren't you?"
Yeah.
You know, like like he's just like you're a lib. Like anything, like if I said anything remotely to the right or to the left, they're just like, "Oh, you're a libtard, libtard." Like, no, like that's not what that means at all. It's like what libtard means. It's like you see a Ben Shapiro compilation of him owning an undereducated college student that doesn't know any better. It's like, and you think, "Oh my God, that dude's spitting facts," but he's literally playing against like someone like half his size. You know what I mean? In terms of intellect. But yeah, that's all I want to say. So I think this is gonna be a little bit longer. We're probably gonna have to do an hour 45, which I think is fine. 30 minutes just to talk
Okay.
about this.
Yeah.
It's my topic.
We're
Don't
gonna
you
move
dare
on to-
hijack my topic. Sorry
I'm
if we.
not going to introduce it. I was just saying we're moving on. So if you guys don't like politics, we apologize.
Sorry if we did talk too
Should I
much
put a
about politics.
timestamp skip? Should I put a timestamp skip? Like
Potentially,
insert like a hey,
yeah.
if you guys don't like politics, skip to this time.
Potentially, yeah.
We will discuss it
Okay.
afterward.
But okay. Sorry if we offended you with our political chat. at least take what we're saying, just listen to it, if anything. Even if you don't, if you disagree with it at the end,
And take
at
it
least-
with a grain of salt, because we don't know everything. We don't have the answer.
Yeah, we don't know everything either, but just at least listen. You know what I mean? Like listen. I try to listen so hard to people with opposite viewpoints. Just listen. Like that's the most important thing. Just try to see what we're saying. Listen to what we're saying. Anyway, all right. So it's the end of the year. Very kooky year indeed. A lot of interesting things.
It's the end of 2020.
One of the hardest years in the world. That's not true. But one of the.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have to say that. I have to say this. Every time you say the word kooky, I just can't stop thinking about that one time that I thought it was a racial slur, and then we talked about it for 5 minutes on the podcast. If you haven't seen that, I think it's in one of the first 3 podcasts.
It might be the
Did you
very
leave
first
it
one.
in?
I'm pretty sure. No, he did. Right.
I edited a good chunk of it out so that it didn't come off as bad.
It was the first
It
or
was like a
second
really
because
good
I did
cut.
it at school. Like I did it in my dorm room because we recorded.
Yeah,
it
it was
in
like
my
the
dorm
first,
room.
second,
Okay.
maybe third,
Yeah.
third.
Okay.
Okay.
So go check that one
Continue.
out.
All right.
That one's
So-
Gamer.
So the year kind of sucked. I'll be the first to admit. A lot of people are going to admit that the year kind of sucked. But one thing that was kind of good about this year is that there was a lot of content to absorb, a lot of entertainment in general, right? Basically, I was like, there was like 4 games I was watching for the past 2 years, and all of them came out this year. One of them was kind of disappointing, Cyberpunk, but that's not nonetheless.
Spoiler: it was Cyberpunk.
Yeah, and all of them
Wait,
came out this
wait.
year, which is awesome.
Was
It was
Cyberpunk?
great.
Yeah, Luke, it was Cyberpunk.
Oh,
It
cool.
was Cyberpunk.
Just making
was
sure it was Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
is all.
yeah, it was Cyberpunk.
Yeah. Anyway, all these
and I
games
wanted to
they
ask-
came out.
I wanted to ask, what was the second game?
There was no second game. What?
You said 4 games.
You said
No, there's
games.
4 games that came
What
out.
was number 2 though? What was number 2?
Disappointing?
No,
We're
just,
digressing. I said
No,
one.
no.
I
You
said
just
there was
talking.
one
You
thing
said
your
that there were
favorite?
4 games you were looking forward to for a long time
Oh.
that came out this year. What was in the second one? I didn't hear it.
I didn't say the second one. I just said there was
He didn't
4
say
games.
anything.
Oh my god, dude! It was literally just.
I think
All
Luke's
right.
trying to derail the conversation.
Okay.
He wants this to go on for 2 hours.
So, there's a lot of content, and instead of doing the whole year-end like best
4
TV
games.
show, best album, best movie, best video game, separate
It's
categories.
too much. It's too much.
Yeah,
it's
too
too
much.
much.
And
best
plus we-
month for
we-
water. What month
Yeah,
did water
exactly.
taste best in?
Yeah.
It's such a specific thing.
Best month of the year. Best month something came out at like no. Okay.
Best
We're basi-
day of the year. I think it's Tuesday.
So basically what we're doing is we're each choosing our favorite piece of entertainment content this year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's anything entertainment content wise. Movie, TV show, music, anything. So we all choose our favorite one and we're going to talk about it now. So does anyone want to go first? Luke, do you want to
Somebody
go
go
first?
first. Somebody
I
else
want
go
to
first.
ask, did it have to have come out this year, or could I have consumed it this year?
Yes. No,
It
it
has
had
to
to
come
come
out
out
this
this year. Yes.
Yeah, then
I'm
it's
gonna go
not.
with the Teletubbies special.
Nice.
Luke,
Award-winning Teletubbies.
Come on.
Shoot, I don't actually know. I would say Cyberpunk
Okay.
then, because I haven't actually consumed a lot of new media this year.
Okay,
that I
I'm
could
gonna
think
let
of.
you keep thinking. I will
There's
go with
also
mine.
movies and TV shows.
I'm gonna go with mine because you guys can go ahead. Mine is gonna get a little controversy if anybody ever actually listens to this. The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
the first Last of Us so much. It's a great story. It's a beautiful story. It truly showcases what gaming narratives could be like. And I honestly don't think there's been a game since, maybe Uncharted 4, that has reached that level of narrative. I'm not talking about like choices and stuff like that, because Last of Us has done. But just like a story, it's like a movie you're watching, but like a dramatic movie, like an Oscar-worthy movie. That's why I'm very interested to see what the TV show will be like. But like ever since then, they announced Last of Us Part 2 in 2016, and I didn't play the first game until 2017. So I was waiting. I was following the game for months and months and months and months, and then when it got delayed, then it got spoiled, and I kind of got it spoiled for myself, and I spoiled y'all in the process. But then when it finally came out and I started playing it, there were parts of it that I'm like, dang, dude, like super depressing, super sad, kind of mad that stuff happened. But at the end of the day, I don't think there's ever been a video game that has made me think about something as much as that game. Like, I've thought about that game so much, like especially when I first finished it, I was just thinking in my head about everything that was happening in that game and all the events and just the deeper meanings about stuff in my head for so long that like I don't think anything's happened like that since like a TV show I've watched or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if The Good Place came
I'm
out
not-
this year. Did The Good Place season 4 come out this year, or was that the year
Season
before?
4, I think it might have. Come, or maybe it was half released last year and half released this.
I was gonna say
Mm-hmm.
either Cyberpunk for me, or the final season of the
They
Clone
finally
Wars,
figured it out.
or the final season of the Clone Wars. Just
Did
for
that
the
come
last
out
4
this year?
episodes. Okay, no, actually, not even the entire final season. The last 4 episodes of Star Wars: The Clone Wars,
Mm-hmm.
or Cyberpunk,
Cyberpunk.
because
Okay.
both of them, in the last 4 episodes of the Clone Wars, I've heard a lot of people say this, and I do agree that it is the best Star Wars movie that they've ever seen. Because they're all like half an hour long. It's 4 episodes. They don't even have the regular intro for the Clone Wars episodes. Like it's usually you know how Star Wars is, right?
It just
It's the it's the the logo. It has Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and the Clone Wars has like the rip-off theme. Like it's not the main Star Wars theme, but it's like kind of close. But it doesn't even start like that. It starts with like Lucasfilm. That's it, and it's just the Lucasfilm logo like glimmering and stuff, and then it fades
I
to
know.
black, and then the episode starts. It's just
So it's like a movie. It's very minimal
it
TV
is.
show type.
It's literally a Star Wars movie. The last 4 episodes of Star Wars: The Clone Wars are literally a Star Wars movie.
That's
And
cool.
honestly, they're fantastic. The cinematography, the animation, the writing, just I get chills watching some of the scenes. It's yeah.
Interesting that you
or-
didn't choose The Mandalorian because that had a lot of Clone Wars stuff. in it.
Well, Naimur, you just went and spoiled mine. Dang
What?
it.
Hey,
Is yours The Mandalorian?
Potentially. I'm still looking up.
Ah, screw you.
I don't
No,
even know
you
what
can't
you
choose
haven't
that.
even watched it, Naimur. Chill out.
No, I'm not saying it sucks. I'm just saying we can't have both Star Wars things being yours.
Well,
Or
okay. Well,
Steve.
then I'll talk about Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk, I think, is pretty close.
Now I'm just gonna go to rant about Cyberpunk. Go ahead.
I don't really know. Honestly, it's a mix up, a toss up. Because
toss-up?
Cyberpunk was a great experience for me. Like I loved playing that game, and I'm gonna play it more.
Me too.
And especially as they continue to add more things to it, that potentially, like especially, I'm talking specifically about DLC and stuff. But as they also like fix NPC AI and stuff, I'm definitely gonna keep playing it.
Dude, when you put that many acronyms together, people are gonna be so
NPC
confused.
Sorry,
AI.
NPC are
non-playable
characters.
characters, artificial intelligence.
Intelligence. Yeah, dude,
Yes.
that's a mouthful. right
NPC AI
Yeah.
in an RPG.
Yeah.
there. Yes.
But as they start to fix stuff like that, I'm definitely going to keep playing. And especially as they start to add DLC. We'll talk about this in a spoiler cast if we do it. And Naimur and I have already talked about this. But I really hope that they add DLC for the game.
Yeah, this is why
And
Daniel needs to stop being such a Kermit and finish this game already.
Facts. Fucking freaking Kermit.
I have 40 hours in it, dude. I got 40 hours in
Finish
it. I'm
the
close.
main
Well, I have
story is what he's
76. Okay, I have 76.
Daniel, what you got to do
Ooh.
is Daniel, you have to do the character stuff. The
Yeah,
stuff
just
for
do the character
Pan Am,
side quests.
Panam, Judy, River, and
But here's the
and
thing. Here's the
Johnny.
thing. Here's the thing. Here's
and
the
Carrie.
thing. Here's
Yeah, so 5.
I have to edit the podcast, and guess what? The easiest thing to do is when I'm editing the podcast, just play an NYCPD.
Well, that's fine
No.
because you're doing
Stop it.
NCPD.
But when
mission.
you're not doing the
Don't- don't-
podcast,
but
when
don't
you're not
do
doing
that,
the podcast,
dude.
you
It's
gotta
just
do
a
I
it.
grind.
haven't done.
Daniel, I'm telling you, once you get all the stuff, you know, from the side missions, like the story side missions, like you'll enjoy the grinding after you beat the main story.
Yeah, you will. Yeah.
And then you'll have something to work towards, like buying all those cars.
I think you guys don't realize how little time I have on my hands.
Then do the main story instead of doing the stupid grindy part of the game.
No, my option is either grind and edit the podcast or edit the podcast.
And then play the game.
And then-
you'd think you could do
no,
one
and
thing
then
at a
do
time.
something else because I have other things I have to do.
Like what?
Like today, I literally spent 2 hours like basically helping my mom like add rocks in our backyard.
oh
It's
man,
like there's always something I gotta do.
who would have
man.
known he has to add rocks to his backyard every single day for the next 3 weeks?
I edited 2 podcasts today. They were both roughly an hour and a half
To
long.
be fair,
like
that's
these
because
two,
you've
I think,
been
the
gone
ones we
and
recorded
out of
tonight.
commission for the past week and a half or so.
And I spent
Yes,
all
that is
day
true. You
playing
did take a
Cyberpunk.
week.
I spent all day playing Cyberpunk. So explain
Daniel,
that.
we pay you for a reason, okay?
We don't pay him.
You took an entire week
You don't
off.
pay me.
Don't
You
say
have
that
to.
because he can use that legally against us if that ever happens. Okay. Anyway, Daniel, you shut up. You've relinquished your talking privilege.
I haven't
gotta
even said
do
my.
this
I
stuff.
haven't even said mine yet.
It's just.
I
It's
just
just.
want to say, by the
it's
way,
just. Cyberpunk for me has been
Mm-hmm.
such a fantastic experience because of the character stuff, and that's why I'm saying you have
yeah,
to do
that's
the character
really
stuff.
good characters.
It
It's
does.
like unlike any RPG in terms of the characters I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen so many. Like Red Dead had really good characters just in general, but it wasn't an RPG, so it doesn't count. It was a good linear experience like Last of Us, but then, like this as an RPG was genuinely a really good game. Maybe Mass Effect actually, but I don't think Mass Effect's characters hold a candle to the Cyberpunk characters. So yeah, I will play it more and I'll
Yeah,
like it.
I think-
but it's a little disappointing from seeing the demos when they first showed it.
I would say
to
just
everything
from.
that showed that
I think
could
it's only
happen.
disappointing from a gameplay perspective, really.
No, it's disappointing from a systems perspective. Just
Well,
everything in
obviously,
the game.
you know what I mean.
Besides the
and a
story.
UI perspective and a just
Okay, UI
a
isn't that bad.
functioning
UI
game
isn't
perspective.
bad. The UI
Literally
isn't
everything
bad.
is
Dude,
disappointing.
the UI is so bad. Whenever you try and sell an item, it has to spend 2 seconds reloading the screen.
What?
Yeah.
What is with that?
Have you? That's
Have you
that's
not
never
tried
been an
to
issue
sell
for
a
me.
bunch of stuff?
Okay,
When
this
you
is not a
press A, it
Cyberpunk
goes-
podcast about the systems. The systems just suck.
Yeah, we're gonna go into way too
Whatever.
much
But
detail about
also,
that.
never been an
we
issue.
can't
The
talk
story-
about Cyberpunk. We can't.
The story for me, it's good, but it also feels like it was cut or trimmed down more than it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
That in of itself is also another issue I had with the game. Is that there's some side quests. It's like I want to know what happens more, and then
Yeah.
it clearly got cut or tied
No, I
down or
agree.
simplified or something.
I definitely agree.
And that's
with
what I
that.
hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some stuff that
then-
was cut down.
And then I also have a favorite TV show thing. Probably the ending of The Good Place, because that did come out in 2020. It came out in January
Mhm.
2020. So
Yeah.
but I watched it like not too long ago. I watched it like in October. And the ending to that show, oh man, that too, I've never like had such an existential crisis or just thinking about that. Makes me really sad in a good way. I don't know. There's it's like bittersweet.
Didn't
Yeah,
Joey just finish recently watching it?
Yeah,
or
he
whatever?
finished
Yeah,
it, like,
that reminded
yesterday.
me of it
And
too.
he was talking about it. I mean, like, yeah, it's like it really did have like an emotional ending. It was, I don't
It's
know.
really really good, and that was a great piece of entertainment as well. But Last of Us Part 2, I just remember sitting at the credit screen and just being like, "Wow!" The final scene in that game, as well. No spoilers. Amazing. I don't know. I loved it. It's my favorite entertainment piece for this year. I wish Cyberpunk was gonna be. I thought Cyberpunk was gonna be that for me, but it was just a little too disappointing for me to be that.
Yeah.
It was
Fair
good,
enough.
but it could have been better. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right, Daniel.
See, yeah, Daniel.
Luke was gonna go on a tirade. I'm gonna say it, even though I already said it earlier. One of them is certainly the end of season 2 of The
Oh
Mandalorian.
yeah, for sure.
Nerd.
For sure.
Fantastic. Naimur, have you
That
even
was really
seen
good.
it?
He hasn't
No,
even finished the
I'm
first
kidding.
4
Does
episodes
he even know
of
what
the first
happens?
season.
Does he even know what
I'm
happens?
kidding. No. I
Oh,
have
you've
not
seen
seen
it?
it. No, I've not seen it.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I
sure I'll
won't
like
spoil
it. I haven't
Alright.
gotten around to watching it. All right.
Oh,
I-
also one thing. So far,
Yeah.
season 5 of The Expanse has been really good, and this season is based off my favorite of the book so
Oh
far.
my god! Again
So
with The
I'm
Expanse.
excited.
No one cares, dude.
Watch it,
Stop
Naimur.
talking about The
Watch
Expanse.
Dude,
Oh, one weird thing. My phone
now that
has started
I've
turning
watched it
off.
and said that I didn't like it, now he's got to force you to watch
My
it.
phone's been really delayed in turning off recently. Like listen to this and watch it.
Oh wow! What a great gimmick for this podcast.
Anyway,
Luke.
Daniel.
Hey, Luke. Watch. Press button. That's normal.
Your screen froze.
Maybe just
your screen
Or
froze.
just, or just
I can
restart
tell.
your computer, bro. Just
Ready?
restart your computer.
Press button. Off.
Yeah, restart your computer. Just do
That's
that.
normal.
Why would that
Oh,
fix the phone?
Man, the end of this podcast is horrible, dude.
Daniel,
let's,
continue,
let's,
please.
Let's
Daniel,
try and
continue,
wrap
please.
it up.
Continue, please.
No, Daniel, is
I-
that
Never
it?
finished.
The
No, I'm not
Mandalorian?
done talking about it. I'm not done talking about
God.
it. Man. The end of the season 2 of Mandalorian. See, I'm not saying every episode in season 2 was fantastic, but for the most part, it was definitely better than season 1 in my opinion. And just overall, like it doesn't really have that much of a message behind it. There's not really anything that like is like super impactful about it. But it's just a fun, entertaining piece of media, and I thoroughly enjoyed it from beginning to end. And it truly, like, I love the Star Wars universe, and there's people who nitpick like tons of movies and they like find minor details to like call out, and it's like I just don't understand how people can't just sit back and enjoy these because it's such an entertaining universe.
Well,
and I wish someday I could create
just
a
wanted to
world
ask-
or just a story that has that much engagement and stuff like
Do you
that.
want to suck on my toes?
No, stop.
I do not.
In Star Wars, I think
I-
Star Wars
I'll
just has such
Yeah, Naimur.
Okay, I'll talk real quick. Just Star Wars has such a weight to everything you do. There's so much nuance in the universe itself that everything seems like it partakes into a greater thing, like a greater part of the universe, or like it touches on a different detail of the universe. So it's really hard to just enjoy like let's say they just made a spin-off show about just something, you know? Like let's just say it's in the Star Wars universe. But like it's not tied to the main storyline anything. It's just in that universe. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Like I feel like they could do that, but the thing is people will hate that because they're like, what is the greater meaning of this? And so it's really hit or miss when they make these shows because it has to do with something in the bigger picture sort of thing. This universe that like some people be like, I hated that, or oh, that was really cool, I love that. No in between. No like
Yeah.
Okay. What were you gonna say, Luke?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say I've been trying to get Val, my girlfriend, to watch Star Wars for weeks, and
Like the main
the
trilogies?
movies. She's never seen any of them.
Oh yeah, definitely start on Phantom Menace. That'll make her want to watch it.
Luke,
I'm not gonna start on Phantom
no.
Menace.
have you heard of the? I don't even know what the name of the
Machete
order is. It's 4, 5,
The machete order.
1, 2, 3.
Machete. 4,
Is that
5,
what
1,
it
2,
is?
3,
Oh, that's
6,
so
7, 8,
2,
9.
3, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It's good. It
No,
actually
dude,
is good because
It's good for
preserve-
people who are getting
you preserve
into
the plot twist from the original trilogy, while also keeping Anakin's fall impactful.
Yeah, I understand. It's cool. But I also think that they need to change episode 4's. The only thing they need to change about episode 4, you'd think George Lucas would do this, is that lightsaber fight with Darth Vader and Obi-Wan, dude.
Oh my God.
That is like watching
Oh my
two
God, dude,
old
seriously.
men in a retirement home arguing at each other. It's like they're literally just hitting. They're like clacking. They're like too afraid not to break the lightsabers. It's like clack, clack, clack.
Yeah,
You know,
dude, I don't know
thing
how
is,
they
though-
haven't
You know the
changed
thing is though, they
They've
literally
edited
are
so many
afraid not
things.
to break the lightsabers.
Yeah, they aren't. Yeah,
no,
because
that's
they're
what he's
afraid it's gonna
saying.
break.
Yeah.
It's like people have used like an animator on their computer and done this
no.
for free, and it looks way
then
better
done this-
than the actual thing.
Yeah,
Like
I've
you
seen
can do
it
it,
too.
dude.
It's like it looks fantastic.
You can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. LucasArts, just do it, please. And
Here's
everyone's
what
gonna
I-
love that movie
Here's
even
what
more.
Here's what I find fascinating. People say 4, 5, and 6. Episodes 4, 5, and 6 have the best story. 1, 2, and 3 have the best lightsaber duels, and 7, 8, and 9 have the best visuals. And I want them all to come together to create just like a perfect masterpiece. Like, why can't we have all at once? Like, I'm not saying the prequels didn't have a good story or that the main trilogy 4, 5, and 6 didn't have good visuals. But like, there are some weight to like
Well, I have no
they
issues.
did some things better in each trilogy.
I have no issues with
Yeah.
spin-offs, like Solo and Rogue One. I think that's pretty cool. Like if they just made those a genre movie, you know what I mean? Like I would love like a detective noir Star Wars. That'd be super dope. Imagine just like in a noir like world, like that'd be really cool. Like instead of just having this mainline thing. I don't know. I also am a sucker for detective noir, so I think that's why I like Blade Runner a lot.
Yeah, you
Stuff
bring
like
it
that.
up like every other podcast how you want another detective noir.
I love
game,
detective
movie, TV show.
I just love detective movies, like because I see detective TV shows all the time. Psych, Castle, Law and Order, SVU, Criminal
Rock, paper,
Minds. Like,
scissors.
I've seen that stuff all the time. Okay, I don't need another detective crime TV show. I want a movie because, like The Nice Guys. The Nice Guys is a great one of those. You know what I mean? It's like I wish there was just more of that. And even
arguably Knives Out too.
whodunits. Yeah, I want more whodunits as well. Just more mystery.
Knives Out was fantastic,
Yeah.
and Knives Out is actually going to be the other one that I was going to say.
Did not come out this year.
I think it
It
came
did
out
not
this
come out
year.
this
Came out in 2019, so it did not count.
Jesus, man, what has happened to this year, dude? Then I can't pick that as my movie.
Bad things.
Apparently, The Witcher came out this
How
year.
did Lady Bird come out this year?
No, that came out like 3 years ago, dude.
Okay, just making sure I'm not like I'm just making sure that I'm not crazy. I thought like for whatever reason I thought something I read
Dude,
said
oh
it came
my
out this
God.
year, and I was like, what happened to time?
Dude, didn't like The Lord of the Rings 1 that came out this year, right? Oh my god. It feels
No,
so long.
I was asking because I was about to get so. Dude,
Yeah,
I was about to
Avatar
get so
1 came out
confused.
this year too. And that's why it's fine. Avatar, I love that movie. We could do that.
Are we gonna wrap up?
Daniel, is there anything
Namer's
else you
favorite
wanna add?
movie of the year is Tenet.
Tenet was pretty good, dude. Tenet was good. I'm gonna be honest. Oh,
People hated it.
talked
Not
about
people hated it.
My favorite
People
movie of the
thought
year.
it was
My
a
favorite
little
movie of the year
too-
was The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which Naimur should watch for the record.
It did not come out
But
this year,
it
big
didn't
boy.
come out this year, Luke. We can't.
Yeah, it came out in the '60s. I just wanted to say that you should watch it.
Yeah.
I figured it out, guys. My favorite movie of the year, Scoob. All right, I think that's a great place to end it because we've been talking about way too many things.
My
for
favorite
way too
movie,
long.
Cars 2.
God, I cannot.
Is a masterpiece.
Cars 2.
Honestly,
Cars
Being
2.
completely
Not to be
honest,
confused with
if
Cars
being-
3, the
Being
masterpiece.
completely honest, I cannot wait until this is over.
Luke's been waiting for this to be over for the last hour.
Favorite piece of entertainment,
All right.
George Lopez, the TV show on Nick at Night.
Oh, when I read Naimur's topic list for this, I wanted to make this joke, but then I forgot about it till just now. Favorite piece of entertainment this year? The election.
Favorite
Oh,
piece
good
of
one.
entertainment? Your mom. She's so fun to hang out with.
I genuinely thought we were gonna end this about a minute and 30 seconds ago,
'cause-
and we're still making jokes.
because-
So.
Favorite piece of entertainment?
Let's keep
When
going.
Daniel
because-
stops talking.
Naimur, is it because my
Favorite
mom's
piece
a
of
burlesque
entertainment?
dancer?
Haha.
Favorite piece of entertainment? Not this
That
podcast.
was-
Not
my
even
mom is
close.
Not a burlesque dancer. The joke is though that this podcast. Won't
Okay,
come
that's
out
it. We're done.
this
No,
year.
Luke, you ruined the
Wait,
joke.
no.
Stop. No,
I just
stop.
wanted to
Stop.
I just
You
wanted
ruined
to
the joke.
state- I just
You
wanted to
ruined it.
state-
I have to.
I just
I have
wanted
to
state-
edit
I
this.
just wanted
You
to
e-
state-
I have to edit this.
You ruined this joke, Luke. Just like everything in your life. Bye, guys.
I just no wait
Just
before
end
you
it
go before you go. I just wanted to say that the left side of my arm, my left side of my body is going numb.
Good. I don't care. Good. Good.
Luke, I have to edit this. What? How does that add value? Oh my god! You didn't
Good.
stop already, did you?
No, I did
did
not
not.
stop.
I didn't.
Luke,
Okay.
no one will love you. You're going to die alone. Okay? If you keep making these jokes,
Oh my
you
God.
keep ending on this
Guys,
path, your mother's going to hate you. Okay? And I can't
right.
be the one to defend you every single time, Luke.
Yeah, you
can't
can.
take it anymore.
It is past-
Naimur,
This is
I know
enough,
you'll
Luke.
be- I know you'll always
hold
be there
on,
for
hold
me
on, hold
because
on, hold
you'll
on.
always love me.
It's
No.
past 1 a.m., guys, so I just want to apologize
It's almost
if
2
we're
a.m.
acting
It's almost
loony
2
all of a
a.m.
sudden.
No,
Is it
Luke.
seriously
I'm
almost
done,
2 a.m.?
Luke. I'm done with your
It is,
antics.
it is nearly 2 a.m.
I know you'll always be there for
Don't-
me, Naimur.
What are you?
I
what,
know
what
you're
is your
in love
mother gonna
with me.
say, Luke?
You'll always be
I
in
can't
love
keep.
with me.
I can't
Don't
keep fighting
kid
this for you,
yourself.
Luke. I'm
Don't
done.
kid
I'm done, Luke.
Don't kid yourself. You'll always be there
No.
for me.
I'm picturing
No,
a
Luke.
holiday. I'm picturing a holiday movie called Two Brothers from Different Mothers, and then it's just a movie about you two falling in love. It's like the small town boy and the big city boy, and they both like meet up, and they're like, "Oh, hey, remember when we
Daniel,
used to be
am I
friends
the
in
s-
high school?" Haha, and then they fall in
Daniel,
love.
am I the big city boy because I have a big?
No.
you can censor that where it's like I have a big.
Yes,
See,
Yeah,
that,
I
That'd be
will.
pretty funny.
I will.
No, Luke, I'm tired of it, dude. You've done enough. I
tired
hate
of
this, Luke.
running.
Luke, as soon as this year ends, I can't wait to start a new year without you. I hope I never see you to God ever
My New
again.
Year's resolution
I
is
swear.
never see Luke.
Thing is, though,
Never see you again.
Thing is,
You know what my
though-
favorite part of this podcast is?
Thing is,
Not
though-
you. Alright? I'm done with you, Luke.
Thing is,
Okay?
though-
I'm done
thing is,
with you.
though,
I'm done with everything. Okay.
Thing
This
is-
is
Luke,
the
what
end.
is the
I'm
thing?
just kidding.
Please tell me the thing.
Wanna suck on my toes?
No, Luke. Nobody likes your toes. How many times I gotta say this? You've been arrested 4 times. Show your toes in public. And I had to bail you out every
I'm still
time.
not sure if I'm cutting this or not. Like, I don't understand. Like, is this the end of the podcast?
Luke,
Is
I've
this
had
what
to
it's
bail
come
you
down
out
to?
every time. You couldn't keep those toes in a sock. I've tried so long. I can't take it anymore.
I've paid you back
All right.
for the
Thank
bails.
you, guys. Thank you, guys. That's the end of the podcast. Thank you. Wonderful. End.